looks at it as a continuation of the rebuilding process. You know, they've had 2 great years, and they realize they're just one short step away from getting in there with the heavyweights. And, you know, this game, just like 2 years ago, if you ask Jeff Hollenbeck, he says, hey, the game 2 years ago on Thanksgiving Day against Quakertown, we won it. It brought us to 7-5, and you know the kids were so excited. The next day they showed up to the locker room lifting weights. I think that's what he's hoping for here, so that next year they can get in the ring and do battle with CB West and Norristown.
And for Quakertown, we should mention that they've only lost 3 times this year. Their most quizzical loss, however, their last one, the last time they were on a field a couple of weeks ago, they lost to Upper Dublin, a game that has a lot of folks shaking their heads. And we want to thank our friends at Lincoln Financial Advisors, John Malloy and Company, for sponsoring the pregame show. Keeping more of what you have is a matter of careful planning. Easy to say, smart to do, but how? We'll help you examine your objectives and analyze your needs. We can help you find ways to make your money work harder in order to make your future even more comfortable. You might even be surprised at how good your future will be. Helping you achieve your financial goals, our job. Call John Malloy. See the number on your screen there, 800-292-0408 for an appointment. Securities and investment advisory services offered through Lincoln Financial Advisors Corporation, member NASD and SIPC, a broker-dealer and registered investment advisor. Insurance offered through Lincoln affiliates. Lincoln Financial Group is the marketing name for Lincoln National Corporation and its affiliates. Florian, as we set the stage today, I think the key storylines are, first of all, who's going to stop the run? Secondly, then who's going to contain Rhodes? And the third thing, of course, is the turnovers. We'll talk more about that. We're going to step aside for just a moment. Pennridge and Quakertown next here on TSM. And we're back at Poppy Yoder Field on the border of Percy and Sellersville. Thanksgiving Day, Quakertown in the white with the blue bottoms. Pennridge all green today, Florian, and we're getting ready for the opening kickoff.
That's right. As you mentioned, Chris, perfect morning for football Thanksgiving. Now, we've got some heavy clouds, dampness on the field. As we take a look at Bridget's Brownies, our sponsor of the kickoff for chocolatey treats that make great gifts for your friends, family, and business associates. Try Bridget's Brownies this holiday season. Won't cost you anything. Give them a call at toll-free 1-888-340-2040, or try them on the internet at www.bridgetsbrownie.com.
We'll go down to John Price on the field. John, take it.
Right now, we're in good shape down here in the field, guys. Happy Thanksgiving. A little bit of mud build-up. The rain's off and on. It's supposed to call for that for the remainder of the afternoon today. But so far, if the weather stays like it is, really, we're in perfect football weather. Back up top.
This is Steve Hendricks on the kickoff return. He's going to be snowed under at about the 25-yard line. Nice play for Pennridge as Aaron Roberts makes the tackle on the opening kickoff.
Chris, pretty much what we expect is special teams real critical. You see Pennridge pretty much coming in fine-tuned, get a good kickoff coverage. Now the defense will go to work.
Nate Landgren will be the quarterback today for Quakertown. We saw him last year on Thanksgiving. I thought he looked a little in awe of the game. Today he's had a much better year this year. Seems very comfortable with this offense. Behind him, number 11, Steve Hendricks, will see the ball a good deal, as well as Mike Smith. Quakertown likes to run the ball. That's Hendricks on first down, and he'll get about a yard.
Once again, Pennridge very aggressive from the opening snap and getting in there, making a nice defensive tackle. As you'd expect, that defensive line to be pretty impressive this afternoon from Pennridge.
We're just underway. We thank you for joining us on this Thanksgiving. Hopefully you'll have the chance as you watch this game to relax and maybe work on some leftovers. It'll be second and that. They're going to not give him a yard on that, so 2nd and 10 for Quakertown. Just underway. Hendricks in motion behind Landgreen. Landgreen barks the signals, rolling to his left. Pennridge with a rush. Landgreen attempting the throw, but he'll keep it. He'll be knocked down by the Pennridge defender, number 61, Mike Balsar, who's really come on in the second half of the season.
Well, what we're seeing there, Chris, is Landgren has a dimension that the Pennridge defense is going to have to keep alert of, and that's his mobility. And, of course, his offensive line doing a pretty good job for him in that series, making a path for him on that far left side.
And you'll notice that Quakertown will shuttle plays in. Bob Compton, the wide receiver, bringing this one in as Quakertown will run plays in and out with their wide receivers. 3rd and 6, Landgreen picks up 4 on that effort, and 2 men out wide. It'll be number 19, Chris Grill in the slot. He's the key receiver. Greg Oldham out wide. Landgreen looking for Jason Rhodes had it, but he dropped it, and there we go. That could have been a key early turnover.
Well, it was the defensive line of the Pennridge Rams really getting some good penetration up front. And, of course, Landgren was forced to fire that in traffic, and Jason Rhodes, being the superb athlete and a great instinct, good reader of the game, was able to almost pick that off. Nonetheless, he was in control of knocking that ball down.
Now, this is where it gets very, very, very dangerous for Quakertown, because they have to punt the ball. It'll be Jesse Schwager bringing it out. Jason Rhodes back deep at about the Pennridge 40, and Rhodes has the jets. He can bring it back all the way if he gets an alley. Schwager's punt, it's more of a line drive, but it's going to bounce short of Rhodes. He'll let it roll, and Quakertown will down the ball right around the 35-yard line.
Yeah, down finally there by Chris Grill, but you see it turned out to be a good punt there for Quakertown, and that's one thing you want to do as a punter. You just want to keep it away from the main return man. As you said, Chris, Jason Rhodes, a real dangerous return man. Quakertown defended that play well.
Now we look at the Pennridge offense, led by Andy Briner, his one and only starting season at quarterback. He's a senior, 6'2", 194. In the backfield, a trio of horses. Qtown 35, Harris 36, Rhodes 40. All of them very, very dangerous. Qtown in motion coming to the left, and it's the fake, and it's back to Rhodes, and Rhodes into the secondary.
Easily allows for transferring to videotape. The Philips personal TV receiver works with any television and can use any incoming signal. Antenna?
The Pennridge Rams, and as we mentioned, they're coming into this final game of the season with lots of positive momentum. Great timing. Look at that. Look at the handoff right here. Look at the blocking. You can't see it to the left of your screen, but look at Rhodes go off. Has good balance, good control as he makes his way on the outside downfield.
Rhodes picks up 22 on that first offensive play. Now it's Kraus. Oh, a bad handoff. That's the first turnover of the game. As Quakertown picks up, it was an outside handoff.
Chris Messina looked like he got in there and really got his hand on the play and broke it up. Good read defensively by Quakertown. Chris, you mentioned that in the pregame, turnovers would be critical. On a day like today, the ball's a little bit slick. Anything can happen. Look at it. Look at the penetration. You'll see number 58 come in there. Nice defensive play for Quakertown. Now Pennridge defense will have to recover.
And our thanks for the slow motion replay to Doylestown Sports Nutrition and Tanning Center at 186 West State Street, 215-345-9920. Quakertown back in business. Landgren under center, just about midfield. He'll bull it up through the center of the line. That's Mike Smith getting the call. The senior tips in at 5'11", 180.
Well, the Panthers now feel a little bit better, Chris, about their field position than they did at the start of their first offensive series. Keep in mind, they're going to go to Smith a couple of times, and they're going to try to keep that Pennridge defense centered in the middle. But on that particular play, their top receiver, Chris Grill, was in motion to the far side. Watch for him to be a factor in the next couple of plays.
Grill needs a couple of receptions today to set a new Quakertown school record, so we'll see plenty of him. Late substitution for Quakertown. Now they go to the ring backfield. This is a look we haven't seen a whole lot of this year, and it looks like a screen, and it is a screen. Now it's a one-on-one matchup. And that one, I think you have to give the nod that time to Mike Smith as he pulled over Jason Maurer for about 5 yards.
Yeah, Pennridge's Mike Bolsar, Chris, did a nice job. It looked like he was going to have Landry, but Landry, like you said, this year playing with a lot of confidence, just delivers a simple dump pass. Here he is, Landry. You're going to see 61 come up. There he is, Bolsar. Look at Landry. Calm, cool, collective. Nice play on the outside by Mike Smith. He keeps his head down, uses his body, and chugs away at the yardage.
And we also want to take the time, in addition to thanking Doylestown Sports Nutrition and Tanning Center, thank our camera crew. They've done a great job all year. Another good slow-mo replay there for you so you can see that play. 3rd and 3 now for Quakertown at the Pennridge 45. Landry looking short. There's Grill. That's the first of his receptions today, and that will move the chains. First down, Quakertown.
I'll tell you, calm, cool, composure. If we have another look, there's Grill out there. He was all alone, the lone receiver on that formation, and you knew Landry was going to go to him. The Pennridge Ram defense knew it was going to go, but when you work a timing play, Chris, and the timing is so good, there's not a defender in the world can stop it. You saw excellent execution on the part of the Panthers right there.
So Quakertown moving the ball here after a 3 and out. Their second drive much more impressive. 1st and 10 at the Pennridge 40. We're 4 minutes into this contest. Now Quakertown going for the whole ball of wax. It's Rhodes downfield with Grill. That one's going to be tougher for Quakertown. It's hard to outrun Jason Rhodes.
That's right, but what I like about Quakertown is they're switching sides, they're switching players. We saw Grill, the lone receiver. He ran a little short timing pattern. This time he's deep on the right side. What I like about Steve Cherrybon is he's going to mix it up, and that is a sign of a good tactician.
That'll also open up the middle a little bit for the running game.
That's it. Mike Smith is waiting.
2nd and 10 at the 40 for Quakertown. We're going to see 3 backs today. Smith, Hendricks, and Gosler in a relief role a little bit later on. It's Hendricks and it's Smith this time as Quakertown pitches the ball outside. This is Hendricks. Rhodes misses a tackle, and instead it'll be up to Aaron Roberts to come up from his safety spot. He'll hold him to a gain about 2, but Roberts had the chance to knock him down, but Rhodes could have tackled him for a loss.
I'll tell you, some good offensive work. Look at a pitch behind it, but you're going to see J.J. LaCava deliver a block. Here he comes, LaCava. Nice block. And there's Landgreen on the play as Hendricks carries it up nicely and works his way for some positive yardage.
Gain of 2 that time for Hendricks. Now a key situation for Quakertown. 3rd and 8 on the 30 to keep this drive moving. Obviously, the guy you got to think about is Grill. He's in the slot to the left. He's going to run a short pattern. There's the pass. There it is, right to Grill. Rhodes tackles him inside the 25 at about the 22, and that will be enough for another Quakertown first down.
Landgreen perfect on the timing. He's in motion on his feet, and he kind of hops a little bit. Here's a nice look camera, field level. Look at Landgreen spin out. He's in motion. There he delivers a pass, a bullseye right into the numbers, and look at Grill. Calm, cool, slips behind the defenders. Nice play, big first down.
Yeah, Jason Mauer's going to have his hands full today with Grill, who is the real deal. He can play, and he only needs, that'll tie the school record right there. That'll get it. He needed 3 to tie the record today, so young Mr. Grill will have his name now forever in the blue and white record books, at least as a tie, and it's early, so you know he'll get a couple more today.
Congratulations to him. Look at this nice timing play. You see Bolsar come in there for the tackle for Pennridge. He gets a piece of him and assisted by a couple of defenders, but of course an appropriate day on Thanksgiving and final game of the season.
2nd and 8, a gain of 2, sort of a West Coast offense. A little fake, and this time it's inside, and that one Pennridge is going to have pretty well defended, you would think, throughout the day as Smith gets stacked up for 1.
Hey, Chris, West Coast doesn't work in Percy, pal. We're on the east side.
That's right. That's right. So now it's 3rd and 7, and again, a key down for Quakertown, because they've sustained twice converting 3rd downs on this drive. 3rd and 7 at the 17.
Well, I think what Quakertown's established here on this drive is confidence. You know they can move the ball.
It's Hendricks and it's Smith behind Landgreen. Grill slightly in motion, jogging towards the middle. Could be the end around. They fake it. Landgreen looking deep. He has a receiver in the end zone. Can he catch it inbounds? Yes, he can. Touchdown. Greg Oldham. Quakertown draws first blood, 6-0.
Well, I'll tell you, the fakes were excellent. Perfect. You got to make it look real. And then you go to a receiver you haven't shown yet at all. It's Oldham. He slips behind. And remember, you said, Chris, it's going to be hard to go deep down that right side. Oldham, somehow, he had enough time to get behind the defense, and credit Landgreen, a perfect delivery on the pass.
Yeah, the misdirection certainly worked on that one. And, of course, we thank our friends at Holbert's for bringing you that touchdown. Here comes the extra point. And it's Landgreen booting the extra point. That'll be good. And it's 7-0 Quakertown. Score a great deal. A new VW, Porsche, or Audi from Holbert Motor Cars on Route 611 in Warrington. Since 1954, the Holbert family has been providing the kind of personalized attention you'd expect to receive from family. Stop in today and tell them that we sent you. That's Holbert's in Warrington.
And congratulations, Quakertown getting on the board early. I'll tell you, we're going to have a bit. Here's a look again. Look at Landgreen. 3 defenders were in his face. Look at that ball in flight. Wobbles a little bit, but the wobble actually helps the timing because Oldham is tracking yardage downfield. Watch this delivery. Look at Oldham reach out, in stride, makes the reception, and a perfect play. That has been the story of that drive. A very impressive drive.
Yeah, my only hesitation on calling it was I wasn't sure Oldham could get both of them down. Our thanks to Barb Lynn, Carpet One, for bringing you that scoreboard there on Thanksgiving Day. And they join us in wishing you a happy Thanksgiving. Nobody does it better than Barb Lynn, Carpet One. Family owned and operated for over 50 years. Call 215-348 8116 or stop by for your free estimate at 640 North Main Street in Doylestown. Short kick, Qtown at the 30. He'll come up the middle. Qtown through the middle, runs into one of his own blockers, gets knocked down at about the 38-yard line. So with about 6 minutes to go in this first half, Quakertown draws first blood, and now you sort of have the feeling this could turn into a shootout.
That's right. It certainly has the makings of a big game, and that's exactly what we want to see. We've got a full house here today at Papa Yoder Field. And one thing, Chris, I'm going to get to on the next play. We missed the big pregame meal. I'll tell you all about it.
All righty. Oldham 17 yards from Landgreen for that touchdown at 6:02. Here comes Briner fading back. Pennridge is going to open it up. There is a hanky on the field. They're going deep for Rhodes. Rhodes got a hand on it, but nicely covered that time by number 24, Jesse Schwager. There is a hanky outside. When you see that out there, I usually think it's pass interference.
You see Quakertown, Chris, showing a lot of respect for Rhodes on the far side. Not only was Jesse there, but they had Steve Hendricks double coverage, but Briner's delivery was not that far off the mark.
Now, it looks like this penalty, and we'll hear from the referee in just a moment, may be against Pennridge. The initial indication was the Greens marching backwards. Let's hear. All righty, it's a motion penalty there on Pennridge. That'll set them back 5. That'll make it second. No, they're going to decline it. Okay, so it'll be 2nd and 10 from the Pennridge 37. Lorden to the bottom of the screen. Qtown and Harris, the two running backs. This will be Harris up through the middle. Harris is a big guy. Boom! Boom! Up to the 45. He'll pick up 8 yards. Jim Harris, a junior, tips in at 6'1", 192.
Well, Jesse Schwager that time, we saw on the last play go deep in the secondary. That time he had to come up the middle for a tough tackle.
And we thank our friends at Montgomeryville Cycle Center for bringing this portion of the game to you. Montgomery Cycle Center at their new location, Route 309 in Hatfield. 3rd and 1. Pennridge look for this one to be right up the gut with Qtown. There's a surprise. He breaks it outside. There is a hanky on the field, though, as Qtown gets to the 50-yard line. Something tells me that one may be coming back where that hanky was thrown. Florian, looks like the typical spot for offensive holding.
That's right, and the conditions now, we have a light rain kicking in, and of course, conditions are becoming slicker. We mentioned, Chris, as this season has been seen a lot of activity here at Papa Yoder Field, that the center part of the field seems to be rather worn, and now you see the guys in the trenches are really grasping for their footing, and a lot of times you want to get that extra grab, you want to get that extra push, but somehow the leverage is not there because you're playing on a slippery surface. I believe that's what happened at the line of scrimmage.
Papa Yoder never been one of the better draining fields, so if this rain continues, we're in a lot of trouble. And Florian and I already are, because we're outside doing this game. We're in a lot of trouble no matter what happens.
Well, the monitor's covered. That's the main thing.
Yeah, that keeps the guys in the truck happy. Briner, 3rd and 11 from the 36. He's looking to this side, and he does have Rhodes short. Will Rhodes have enough to get the first down? It depends on the spot. Looks to me like he just got enough.
Seems like he's very close to it, but another perfectly timed pass there from Briner, and a good chemistry between him and Rhodes. Rhodes gets behind him. The ball is delivered to the outside, to the left side of Rhodes' shoulder, so as a secondary player that was covering had no way to intercept or knock that ball down. Great timing on the passing play by Pennridge, and a big first down.
1st and 10 as Rhodes picks up 12. They needed 11. Lorden to the top of your screen. Briner under center, barking out the signals. Quakertown jumps. They're going to call that offsides. That was number 5, Rob Detweiler, jumping across the line. The question was he drawn off?
Yeah. Eric Kraus was his opponent on the other side there, the line of scrimmage.
Offsides Quakertown, so Jeff Hollenbach will like that. Always easy to call plays on 1st and 5.
That's right.
That moves Pennridge into Quakertown territory as they'll move up to the blue 47-yard line. Just under 5 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Pennridge starting to make their move. Lorden to the top of the screen. Rhodes and Harris in the backfield. Qtown and Kraus on the wings this time. This is Qtown in motion. And the handoff is inside. Rhodes up through the middle. Rhodes close to a first down. He'll pick up maybe a little bit more than 5, and I think they'll move the sticks again.
Qtown really makes that play happen. He belts his way through the line of scrimmage and opens the path. And once again, here's a great field level view. Here's the play as it develops. Qtown makes the run before Rhodes. Rhodes gets in there before he's finally stopped there defensively upfield by Quakertown.
And of course, our thanks to Doylestown Sports Nutrition and Tanning Center for the replay. 1st and 10 for Pennridge. Quakertown 42. Best drive of the day so far for the green. Now everybody moves. Harris into the slot, Rhodes out wide. He'll go one-on-one, and Qtown in the backfield. And they are looking for Rhodes, and they're going to get it to him. The question is, what does he do with it? He makes one guy miss. Rhodes down the sideline. He'll be knocked out of bounds at about the 15-yard line. He might be the most exciting player in Suburban 1.
Well, I'll tell you, he made it happen right there, but I'll tell you, he made a teacher. Mike Berger there was in the secondary.
We're going to take another look at this one here in just a moment. Another first down for Pennridge as they move the ball down to the 20, so that one was good for 22 yards. Rhodes has had a couple of big plays early, but it's Quakertown on the scoreboard first, 7-0. Here comes Briner under the center. Briner taking a long snap, and this time it's Qtown inside. He'll get about one. Let's go down to the sideline to John Price.
Hey, Chris, Florian, it's the competition's over already. I've got the fans of the game down here, Quakertown diehard fans. Why don't you introduce yourselves?
Joey Messina.
Chris Messina.
And who's in front of you two?
It's James Messina and Dave Messina.
And your connection to the game today?
We're Quakertown fans. Quakertown's for real. Look out, Lee. And number 58 is my nephew, Chris Messina.
Number 58 is also your?
My son.
Okay, what do you guys think of the game? Quakertown opens up with a big first strike.
Well, turnovers. You know, we got 7 points off a turnover, so see what the defense does, and we'll have our offense come around. We'll be there.
You must be proud of your son.
Absolutely. They had a great year this year.
Great fan support down here at Quakertown. Back up to you guys.
Thanks, John. Harris for a couple of yards, and our thanks to our friends at Van Tresca's full-service men's store.
Thanks, John, and thanks to Ventresca's, located at 145 West State Street in Doylestown. Your full-service men's store where custom clothing is made right in their shop. Custom suits, sport coats, shirts, and slacks. 25 to 30 hours go into the construction of each suit. Choose from bolts of cloth hung on display in the showroom. Thanks again to Ventresca's.
This is Briner looking deep for Rhodes. That'll be out of bounds, thrown a little bit too long. So now a key decision for Jeff Hollenbach on 4th and 5 from the 15. Florian, I know this is going to cripple you, my friend. I know you want to kick the ball.
Yeah.
Do you go for it or do you kick?
I think you go for it. Of course, you try to stay in the game here. But Mike Berger, that time at Quakertown in the secondary, did a nice job of covering the intended target, Rhodes. Just a couple of plays earlier there, Chris, we saw him get burned in the central part of the field there on a big play. He learned well, learned to stay with Rhodes.
Pennridge 4th and 5 from the 15. Rhodes now into the backfield with Harris. Qtown on the wing. Rain's starting to pick up again here at Poppy Yoder. And he's open if they can get it. Nice play by Hendricks. They were looking for Eric Kraus, and Hendricks knocked it down.
Well, Hendricks did the right thing. Good positioning in the secondary. Stay right just a little bit behind the receiver. And you see the quarterback rolling out. You know he's going to deliver it. And then what you got to do is just time your jump. Hendricks showing how great an athlete he is with the read. Jumps up and bats the ball down. Good decision by both teams. Pennridge, they should have gone for it, but defended well against Quakertown. So far in the first quarter, Chris, that's been the difference.
And as Tommy Jackson always says, knock it down.
Knock it down.
You don't have to catch it. Knock it down. Landgreen under center, 1st and 10 from the 15. Smith up the belly, bounces off Roberts, but the Greens snows him under. Led that time by number 50, Josh Small, with the tackle. As Smith will pick up about 3, and now, my friends, the rain is really coming and coming in a hurry. You know, we kid about this, but at some point we'll show you our broadcast location today. We are outside. At Quakertown, we have to contend with a post in the middle of the press box, but when it rains, it's still better than doing this.
That's right.
2nd and 6 for Quakertown. They spotted the ball at the 17. This is Smith up the middle, and again, he makes some good headway before being knocked down, that time making the tackle, Nick Wareheim, who's a junior, 5'8", 150.
You know, Chris, as if the rain continues and the conditions actually worsen, you always feel the team with the ball. Hi, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. And I always feel the team that has the ball, the offensive team, they always have the advantage because they know where they're going. They have that half a step, and this is where you're going to see Smith and company, and then you've got to also keep in mind that Quakertown has a top receiver in Grill.
3rd and 1, and the push inside. I'm not so sure that Smith got that one.
Now, I agree with you. It's the defensive line there of the Pennridge Rams doing a great job in there.
So that brings up a 4th and 1 at the 24, and obviously a punting down. Obviously, Rhodes will drop back deep to take the punt. One key guy I don't see yet for the green and white. We'll ask John Price to check this out. I don't see number 84, Josh Derry, who's one of the better tacklers in the Pennridge secondary. Yet to see him. Not sure if he's injured or there are some other reasons, but we'll check that one out for you. Quakertown to punt now. This will be 24, Jesse Schwager. This is going to be a short one. Quakertown, gets a nice bounce though. That one will die right at midfield. So Pennridge still with relatively good field position, a 26-yard kick.
Yeah, Jesse Schwager again getting a good bounce for Quakertown, but he's doing a nice job. The snaps are coming a little bit high, knocking his timing off. He's not real tall, so he's got to reach up, bring the ball down, and get it off. And I think as a coach, the only thing you can ask is that a player, hey, don't fumble it, don't drop it, and don't shank it. He gets a pretty respectable kick. He gets a good bounce. Let's see if the Quakertown defense can hold the Rams.
Minute left to go in the first quarter. Thanks for joining us on this Thanksgiving Day. Reiner under center. Qtown, the lone back behind him. On first down, it's Qtown. He has a hole. He's outside to the 40, back to the 35, down to the 33. He had one man to beat that time, and he couldn't get by Greg Oldham, the man who had the touchdown earlier.
Well, I'll tell you, Pennridge offensive line really did their job there. That left side of tackle did a fantastic job, and when you look at there, you've got to see Kurt Wargo out there. You've also got to see the tight end and the play there, Dan Lorton. All those guys worked real hard on that left end to make it happen.
Gain of 18 for Qtown, 1st and 10 for Pennridge at the Quakertown 32 as we tick inside of 1 minute in the first quarter today. Qtown in motion. Instead, it goes to Harris. He booms through the middle. He's outside. Harris inside the 15. We'll see where they spot it. Nice tackle that time, but Quakertown secondary having to make a lot of them. John Sikora on that tackle.
I'll tell you, the center, Lance Benfield, really got a nice push, and he was flanked on both sides by guards and tackles, really making the surge. And, of course, Pennridge doing a nice job of picking up a huge first down the left side.
Harris that time credited with 22 yards. And this is what I mean about the Pennridge offense. That's the 4th gain of over 20 yards, and we're still in the first quarter. So obviously they can rip it off in big chunks. 1st and 10, 1st and goal, if you will, from the 10-yard line. Reiner with Rhodes and Harris behind him. I thought Harris was moving a little bit fast, 36 that time.
A little bit early. And we mentioned that offensive line in there. You got to remember Mike Nines is in there too, and these are guys that they do a lot of work, play in and play out. You don't hear a lot about Chris, but you can see on those running plays when the runners hit those holes are created by those guys on that front line.
Well, one of the things I think you'll hear Jeff Hollenbach say after the game today is how much a guy like Kurt Wargo means to this team. A senior, a co-captain, he's been a big part of this squad for the last 3 years, and I know Jeff hates to see these seniors go away because it's sort of the turning of the page for the program. Wargo and some of the seniors like Wargo have exerted a great deal of leadership on this Pennridge squad this year. 1st and 15 from the 15. Reiner with Harris in the backfield. A little bit sloppy exchange from center, but Reiner's going to keep it. He may get back to the line of scrimmage. He gets to the 14, so they'll give him a gain of 1, but some nice defensive pressure that time by Quakertown.
Yeah, Rob Detweiler really stepping in there, but we saw the protection from Reiner. Just a little bit of block, of course. The retreating lineman stopped that, knocked Detweiler off balance, didn't completely stop him. Detweiler maintained his pressure on Reiner, but he had an extra second to do something with the ball.
Now something a little different. The rain is slowed, but now we have a nice breeze coming from directly behind us. So this will be blowing from the bottom to the top of your screen. Pennridge 2nd and 14 from the Quakertown 14. Qtown in motion, and the play is stopped because we are at the end of the quarter. So we will step aside as you see the Barb Lynn Carpet One scoreboard come up. At the end of 1 quarter, the Panthers of Quakertown 7, Pennridge 0, second quarter action right around the corner here on TSM. Back, second quarter Thanksgiving Day action. Quakertown and Pennridge. We are at Poppy Yoder Field on the Percy-Sellersville border. Pennridge on the move right now, down around the 7-yard line. Quakertown. Very impressive first quarter for the blue and white.
That's right, and Pennridge really turned it on there in the second part of the first quarter, and they started the second quarter pretty much the same way. It looked like Rhodes was going to head in for a touchdown, but Quakertown's Pete Bartholomew came up with the touchdown-saving tackle.
And as you can see, it is raining here. 3rd and 6 for Pennridge. Koshan in motion going to his left. The play will go that way. Harris, if he can get to the corner, he'll get in. Can he get to the corner? Did he get the pylon? Yes, they say he did. Harris, 47 seconds into the second quarter from 6 yards out. Pennridge closes the gap to 7-6.
Well, we talked about the advantage of having the ball on wet conditions, and that time Pennridge took full advantage of it. They extended the field all the way to the far side, and Harris was able to go in for the touchdown, and now it's an extra point that separates the two teams.
Rhodes to hold Aaron Roberts to kick this ball. Roberts boots it way through. That would have been good from 40. And we remind you every time we score that you can score too. Score a great deal. That's right. On a new Audi, Porsche, or VW from our friends at Holbert Motor Cars on Route 611 in Warrington. Since 1954, the Holbert family has been providing the kind of personalized attention you'd expect to receive from family. Stop in today, tell them that we sent you, and of course, our best to all the gang at Holbert's on this Thanksgiving Day.
Well, pretty impressive drive by Pennridge, and you know, we looked at both teams, 9-2. Pennridge coming to this season, Quakertown 8-3. We knew pretty much well ahead of today's game that we're two great football teams. Today on Thanksgiving, a special day for both teams, Chris. So far, we and our audience have not been disappointed.
No, I don't think you can complain about this. You can complain about the weather, but that's about it. 7-7. And, you know, you have to be honest. If you're a Quakertown fan, last year you got run out 27-2. This is a far better game to watch today. Roberts to kick off. Quakertown is Hendricks and Grill deep. Roberts is going to sail that one way out. Well, it curves back in. That one surprised everybody. Hendricks will try and make something out of it. I thought that one was heading out of bounds, but instead, bad field position for Quakertown. Look at the ball at the 16.
Yeah, Matt Tarbutton of the Rams got down there first to upend the return man. But like you say, with that football on a wet field, there's no telling what kind of a crazy bounce it may happen. It looks like Quakertown will be starting deep down in their own side of the field.
Yeah, the reason we were distracted is if you're watching the far side of the Pennridge fan section, they're throwing hot dogs into the fans.
Oh, jeez.
We've got to get them to do that up here today, or some Bridget's brownies anyway.
Yeah, sounds good.
First and 10 at the 15. We got to talk about breakfast here in a moment. I haven't lost track of that storyline. This is Hendricks, and he's not going to pick up much. He'll get about 2. Knocked down that time by number 50, and that's Josh Small.
Oh, you mentioned breakfast. Dan Shaw, who's a 1985 graduate of Quakertown. Now, he lives across the street from the Pennridge South Middle School. As I pulled up today, big buffet, big crowd, green and white, blue and white balloons. I went over and I said, hey, how about TSM? He says, guys, bring them all over. So that's next year. This year was the first annual. Dan Shaw.
All right, Landgreen looking outside, but that time Grill was covered. Landgreen running for his life. He'll have to get rid of this one. He throws it out of bounds, and we'll go out of bounds as well, down to our good buddy John Price. John?
Chris and Florian, I'm honored to be down here on the sideline with someone who has a vested interest in the outcome of today's game, Andy Briner's grandfather. Mr. Briner, you must be really proud. He looks like he's throwing the ball well, and he just let him in for a touchdown.
Yes, it looks like it's going to be a real nice high school football game. Both teams looks good. They're well coached, both teams, and I think it's going to be an enjoyable day.
Andy's had a great season so far. What were some of the highlights for you watching him?
Well, other than being nervous, just watching him move the ball, and people like Jason Rhodes and the rest of the team working around, it's a privilege. It's a team. This is a team, this Pennridge team.
Fill us in on what, if any, Andy's plans are for after he leaves Pennridge.
Well, he would like a good business education. He hasn't rolled out any colleges yet, but he's a good boy, and he'll make the right choices at the right time.
Mr. Briner, thanks a lot. Back up to you guys.
Thanks, Mr. Briner. John's Sideline Report is brought to you by Ventresca's full-service men's store, who can serve you in 4 different ways: custom-made clothing, formal wear rental, and sales, ready-made clothing and alterations on your new and existing clothing. Let's hear it again from John on his next report, Ventresca's full-service men's shop. Special thanks for their sponsorship of the Sideline Report.
Yeah, if you stop down and see Lenny, tell him we said hi. I got to stop in and see him. You know, you got to get some formal wear for the Christmas season. Here we go. This is going to be Rhodes, and this one is going to hit him in the helmet and bounce away. Another turnover potentially, but a nice play coming back to help out that time. Nick Wareheim saving Pennridge from a real problem.
Yeah, but a number 80, Greg Oldham of Quakertown, really had Pennridge backing up. And, of course, that number was a big number in the first quarter because he had the Quakertown's lone touchdown of the game.
Now, Schwager, we talked about the last one, wasn't really a beauty. This one's a 46-yard kick. And then this one looks like Charlie Johnson last week for the Eagles, right?
That's right.
The old face mask.
And once again, it's because Schwager really didn't get big bangs on his first couple of punts, and so Rhodes pinched up a little bit. That time he got a good foot into it, and of course you saw how difficult it was to backpedal, but a nice recovery by Pennridge.
Pennridge 1st and 10. Our thanks to our friends at Doylestown Sports Nutrition and Tanning Center for the replay, and this time everybody's jumping. I think this one's going to be Pennridge.
A lot of adrenaline out there, and of course both teams into it. And you know, at this point in the game, they're still fresh. We're still in the first half, 10 minutes plus to play, and we've got a tie ball game. And you know, both teams out there, the players all know that, hey, this game is anybody's.
Certainly is. 7-7. 10:18 to play here in the second quarter. 1st and 15 from the 22. Rhodes in motion this time. Koshan and Harris behind, and this time Briner's just going to keep it. He's not going to get anything on that play.
Good defensive work again, Quakertown, and I'll tell you, you talk about a guy, you've seen Pete Bartholomew all over the field this morning, and then you got Steve Santarlis, number 77, in there as well. So Quakertown really trying to pin the Rams back deep in their own territory.
I think Krause and Lorden were the two receivers that time, and neither one was open, so Briner wisely kept the ball. They say no gain on that. 2nd and 15 at the 22. Koshan coming out to the bottom of your screen. Lorden up top. Here comes Koshan in motion. Rhodes leaning left. Harris goes that way. This is the same play as the touchdown run, but this time Mike Smith smelled it.
Yeah, good defensive read there by the Quakertown Panthers. Smith showing his leadership ability. Not only can he do amazing things on the offensive side of the ball, but he shows the caliber of player he is on the defensive side as well on that play.
So for Pennridge, which looked so good on that touchdown drive, two plays that have not really looked rather crisp, and now a 3rd and 17. I'm interested to see what this is. Look for Rhodes out of the backfield on a crossing pattern. They like that one. Koshan on the wing. Harris behind him. This is Rhodes moving across the field toward the bottom of your screen. He's hooking up over the middle of the field. Instead, they're going outside for Lorden, and that ball a little too long for Lorden, who broke his pattern off. Should have kept running through the ball.
Yeah, but Mike Berger again in the secondary for the Panthers doing a nice job of covering. And of course, Briner made the good choice. You don't want to underthrow that ball because that had a good chance of being picked off. Berger forced Briner to overthrow it, and as a result, he avoided a potential turnover.
And once again, the rain picks back up. And as we go through this game now, the field and the slickness of the ball are going to be a key thing to watch. This is Aaron Roberts on the punt. Roberts, nice one, but rather short. And that time Quakertown makes the fair catch at the 39. A punt of only 19 yards, more high than deep for Roberts.
Well, you mentioned, Chris, Pennridge had a very impressive drive to tie the game at 7. But what you've got to look on the other side of the field, Steve Cherrybon, the defensive coordinator, they made a couple of adjustments now, and they've thrown Pennridge off that offensive game plan that they were so successful with in that drive. Now, the defense of Quakertown gets the ball back for the offense. They have good field position. It's a good time for them to try to get the lead.
Coach Mushrush has seen a lot of offense over the years at Quakertown. Good adjustment. He's the defensive coordinator. This time it's Hendricks. He has the corner. A flag down, but Hendricks is going to go the distance unless Rhodes can catch him. Let's see where they spot it. They spot it at the 1, but this one may be coming back.
That's right. It looked like Hendricks was off. I'll tell you, some excellent timing, good blocking there, and it seemed like Hendricks was a good 10, 11 yards beyond the line of scrimmage before we saw the flag. Here it is at field level.
And it is a clip, so this one's coming back. Let's see if we can see it.
Yeah, I think it occurred just to the right of the screen back there because you see the flag come in.
In case you're interested, if it sounds loud over here, we're on the Quakertown side. That's why you're hearing the boos. If we're on the green side, you'd be hearing cheers right about now. That one brings back a 39-yard gain by Hendricks, pushes Quakertown back to the 45, and now the rain is really coming down.
Well, in a game of this importance and with the teams being that equal, you see how much of an impact any little penalty can have.
So 1st and 14 from the 44 for Quakertown. Landgreen looking back. He has Grill coming over the middle into a pocket of guys, but it's the center screen. Grill will go the distance. The chance to dance for Quakertown. 13-7 Quakertown.
Chris Grill sticks his arm out there just like you'd be driving by your mailbox to take the newspaper. Hey, let me grab this. That ball was thrown in traffic. Nate Landgreen delivers it with confidence, and at the time he releases the ball, Grill appears to be nowhere near the ball. He sticks his right arm out, curls it around, and miraculously holds on to it, carries into the top. What a sensationally big play.
Yeah, it didn't look real good, but it certainly worked. G.J. Dross, the backup quarterback, to hold now for Landgreen, who will try the extra point soccer style. He's so far today 1 for 1 on the PAT. That one is good as well. 14-7. As that pass goes 44 yards from Landgreen to Grill at 8:51. And our thanks to our friends at Holbert's. We're going to get a lot of work today if we keep going at this rate. Stop down and see the folks at Holbert's if you'd like to get a new VW, new Audi, a new Porsche. They've been there for 40-plus years, providing family attention, personalized attention that you want when you want a car. Stop in today. Tell the folks at Holbert's that we sent you. I tell you, I said it was into a traffic jam, and it was. Watch the replay here. I mean, everybody and their brothers here, and then all of a sudden, the whole offensive line's in front of Grill.
Pressure all over Landry. He just throws it down the middle. Look at Grill get up, one-handed catch, curls it around, slips. Look at the blocking. Look at that offensive line. And there's Grill, goes to work, carries it into the end zone, and gets the job done. Congratulations. Big touchdown there by Quakertown. We mentioned the buffet there, Dan Shaw. He told me that he was a player, class of '85. They beat Pennridge that year, 18-13. However, more recently, it was 3 years ago that Quakertown last beat Pennridge, and I believe that game might have been here.
Yeah, well, the only thing we care about in our family is the 3 years I was at Pennridge, we won all three. The kids go to Quakertown now, and they're 0-1 against the old man, so they think this thing's rigged. Short kick that time, but rather interesting how that one developed. And, you know, Greg Eisenhower did the right thing.
He sure did.
He just fell on it.
Greg reaches out and says, wait a minute, that's coming right to me. I better hold on to it. Get down. Nice play by Greg.
John Price, what do you have for us?
Potential candidates for fans of the game up here. Introduce yourselves.
I'm Greg.
Jamie.
Joe.
Ron.
Tony.
Scott.
Eric.
John. Doug. What year are you guys?
Seniors.
This is a big game for you guys. Whose idea was the shirt painting?
It was all of us.
All right, guys. How long have you been looking forward to this?
Very long.
All right. What day of the week did you all dye your hair?
Today.
All right, guys. One big shot for the team, Quakertown.
When we come back to live action, Rhodes, one man to beat. Can he get down the sideline? Rhodes will go they're going to call him out of bounds at about the 30-yard line. Rhodes picking up 28 just that quick. I tell you, it's like a thunderclap.
Back and forth. Steve Henricks with the block, forcing Rhodes out of bounds there. But a special thanks to John Aventrescas for that sideline report. And you know, Chris, it's early. When you see the potential group as the fans of the game, the shirts are not off yet. They got the second half. Things will really heat up then.
Yeah, we'll have shirts and skins a little bit later. 26-8, 34 yards for Rhodes that time. He's got to be over 100 yards in rushing. This time it's the short handoff to Qtown. Mike Smith, nice play.
Well, we talked about it. We've seen that second big defensive play on Mike Smith so far of the first half, and that was a key one. Footing a little bit of a problem in the offensive backfield. We see the handoff here, and you see it. You see himself, Briner, and then you see how quick Smith that time knew exactly where that play was happening, stepped in, came up with a nice tackle.
Now, the good thing is the Quakertown folks have been kind enough. Patty Edwards, who's the director of the Upper Bucks YMCA and a good friend, just said you want an umbrella. Not yet, but in the second half, we may go for that.
I've got one, too. I got a reserve.
There you go. 2nd and 11 as Pennridge loses one on that play. This time, Qtown flanks back. Rhodes goes outside. The handoff is to Qtown. Nice hole up the middle. He makes 21 miss. Qtown breaks it back. He'll go in from 25 out. Holy cow, we have a shootout. 14-14 as the extra points on the way.
Qtown call it the Qtown dance, the Qtown weave, but Qtown was kicking his way through the middle, weaving left and right. Some great blocking in front of him. What a nice play there by Qtown to potentially tie the game up. An extra point we await.
This will be Roberts out of the hold of Rhodes. And I tell you, they're coming fast and furious now. Roberts a line drive, but that one's good out into the parking lot. And Pennridge draws even. Believe it or not, we've had 2 scores now in just over a minute. As, you know, this is a dangerous thing, though. I got to be honest now, my friends, for Quakertown, because Pennridge traditionally, from what we've seen this year, has more weapons than Quakertown. Pennridge has put up 40 or more 6 times this year, so this is not foreign to them. I'll have to look at the Quakertown stats, but I can't recall them going over about 28 or 30 this year.
And defensively, Pennridge also only gives up a high of like 14 points a game. They average like defensively giving up 14, like 0.3 or 4 or so. So you look at the scoreboard, they have 14 against. But however, Quakertown, what we've seen from them offensively in the first half, Chris, they are quite dangerous and they have a lot of potential. We also see on the defensive side of the ball, they are capable of making some adjustments to stop Pennridge, but it didn't happen on that last drive.
All right, thanks to our friends at Barb Lynn Carpet One for the scoreboard. They're going to have to put plenty of padding down because these guys are running over the carpet nice and quick. Aaron Roberts, a line drive. This one will go to Mike Smith, who's the up man. He'll take it at the 20, out to the 25, into the middle of the wedge. He barges forward. Very impressive run by Smith. Very gutsy run up to about the 40-yard line.
I'll tell you, you talk about it. Looked like Smith was going to be tackled a good 15 yards behind where he was brought down, but it was Jason Day finally getting on top of the heap and bringing him down for Pennridge. But Smith just showing you how strong he can be on the field.
Smith reminds you a little bit of Mike Allstott, the great fullback from Tampa Bay. He just bounces off people and keeps those legs moving.
Well, you know, the advantage is, once again, the slick conditions on the field, and a lot of times those potential tacklers are trying to brace themselves, and, you know, if you have the ball, and Smith, he has a very good agility, he's able to cut sharply, it turns out to be his advantage.
Smith and Hendricks behind Landgreen, Grill on the right side. This one will go up the middle, and again, it's Smith. He'll get about 3 yards this time as the Pennridge front line finally moves to knock him down. Dan Reinheimer, the 5'9", 208 junior, in on the tackle that time. And yeah, we told you, gang, it was raining here. Look at this.
I guess, Chris, it means they're going to have to wash the uniforms after this game, huh?
Yeah, I think so. That might be in there. And by the way, guys, deliver them to the high school. Don't let mom do them. That'll take a while, okay? 2nd and 8, gain of 2 for Smith. They spot the ball at the Quakertown 40, Grill to the top of your screen, but we're rolling to the left, and he's looking short, and he gets his man. Nice catch out there by number 80, Greg Oldham, the touchdown man. He picks up a first down and a gain of about 20 yards.
Well, Oldham has also come up with some nice defensive play, but he slips behind the coverage between Wareheim and Lorton in the secondary, and once again, great delivery from Landgreen, who was under pressure, and delivers the ball while he's in motion to the side. Real difficult pass to complete, but he does it with ease.
And again, it brings to mind the question, what's up with Josh Derry? We're looking into that. We'll get you an answer as soon as we can. Right through the middle, Smith bangs ahead for about 5 yards. Tackled that time by Jim Harris, who's going both ways for the Rams.
That's right, Jim Harris, of course, having a big afternoon here. And, you know, you mentioned leadership, how important it is for Pennridge. You know what's going to be interesting, Chris? You know, after today's game, you know, where or to whom is the baton going to be passed to? You know, who are your young leaders that have been groomed over this last season?
And I think it's a good question for both squads because while they do graduate some kids, they don't graduate a lot. Landgreen looking for Grill long, but the Pennridge defense is coming and coming hard. Grill's going to break off the route, try and come back. And it's picked off. Jason Rhodes read it. He picks it off in front of Grill, and Pennridge back in business at the 35.
Well, I'll tell you, Mike Bolsar, Kurt Wargo, and that entire defensive line, they made that play happen. I was about to comment that Landgreen made a nice adjustment. He escaped. He only escaped halfway, though. He tried to force the play. And, you know, Chris, you've seen enough football. What happens sometimes when you try to force the play, especially in the quarterback position. You have an alert secondary, they pick it off. That's where the turnover occurred.
And I think the real negative for Landgreen there is he just looked at Grill the whole time. He locked in. It was like sonar. So it's Briner, 1st and 10 at the 35. Qtown in the backfield. This time we have Harris and Rhodes flanked out wide. That's a little bit different. And he's going to be sacked. Nice play there. 24, Jesse Schwager, the punter, coming on the blitz, and Briner had no chance.
Well, Jesse Schwager has had a couple of big defensive plays also in the first half. That was a key one. And you know what was surprising? That on that right side, that right tackle side, he had a direct beeline into Briner. Nobody there. Look at that fantastic slow-mo replay. Great job there by our production crew, head by our director, Tom Brunt.
Tommy, good job. Thanks, my friend. 2nd and 16 at the 27. And this time it's movement again as Rhodes comes back into the backfield with Harris. Qtown out wide. Here's Rhodes. If he gets to the corner, you know the drill. He bounces off one guy. But this time, nice coverage as number 40, Mike Berger, who you've talked about a lot, seals the deal on the outside.
Mike Berger, he has been a mainstay on the defensive side of the ball for the Panthers this afternoon. He has teamed up nicely with Jesse Schwager. Here's another look at it again. But this time they go to the right side. That was the same right side that Schwager broke through. Look at the running form here of Rhodes on the near side. You see 24, now you see 40 come in. A pair of 40s will match up. Berger forces him out. Nice tackle.
They give Rhodes about 3 on that. Our thanks for the replay to Doylestown Sports Nutrition and Tanning Center. 3rd and 11 for Pennridge at their own 34. Briner looking to pass here. Trips up to the top side of the screen. Can he get any protection? Oh, was that looking bad? It was supposed to be a screen to Qtown, and it hit one of the Quakertown kids right in the gut. And our thanks to Montgomeryville Cycle for bringing you part of our game today. They invite you to stop in their new location just off Route 309 in Hatfield. And we thank all our sponsors for making today's broadcast possible.
Well, as a Panthers number 5, Rob Detweiler. Now, he's a young man, showed a lot of spunk and a lot of feisty attitude out there this afternoon. He almost comes up with the ball, surprised himself that it came his way.
Timeout by Pennridge, and I think there's a little confusion here as to what's going on. Scott Davis checked into the game to punt instead of Aaron Roberts. Davis usually does a good deal on the kicking, so I was a little surprised we didn't see him earlier. 14-14, we said at the top of the broadcast that we needed a Nat's Pizza. That's what we said. Our thanks to our friends at Nat's in Doylestown. Don't forget to pick up some of their famous hot wings for the next time you're watching the game, or a great Stromboli at Nat's as well.
Hey, and trust me,
I know this.
Oh, I know. How about the turkey version, our Thanksgiving version of Nat's Pizza, a little turkey sprinkled on. And don't forget, no pizza dinner is complete without that Via Veneto Italian ice. How about that, Chris?
There
What's
you
your
go.
favorite flavor?
Lemon.
Oh, I love a little lemon.
Love lemon.
Lemon and watermelon.
Yeah. Hey, if any of our sponsors are listening, feel free to drop by. We're only you can give it to the guys in the truck, but don't give them everything, because they'll eat it.
I'll tell you, we could make this an annual event from Pennridge next year at the buffet. The sponsors should show up. Bring it. We'll promote it. We'll have our fans
We'll eat
here
it.
sample. We'll eat it. Our crew. Wait a minute. Our crew will probably get to it before we get to it.
Hey,
so.
if Madden can give away the turkey wing, we can give away the pizza turkey.
Well,
we're ready to go. Scott Davis now on 4th and 11 at the 34 as we come back live. Davis almost booted it into his own man. Hendricks on a slippery field grabs it at the 35, gets to about the 40, and Rhodes and company will snow him under there. Down to John Price on the sideline. John?
Chris and Florian, I'm down here with Pennridge Athletic Director Mr. Thompson. First year as the AD at Pennridge, you came over from William Tennant, so you're familiar with the traditional Thanksgiving Day rivalry. Throw the records out the window. The season starts from scratch. What's your experience been like since you've been here at Pennridge?
Well, in the last 90 days, it's a rather unique experience when you have such community support. We have a large group of senior citizens that follow the teams, that their grandchildren have graduated from Pennridge, but they still find a way to come back. I was speaking to one gentleman earlier that played here in 1955. Now he's here to see his great nephew play ball. So it's a rather interesting situation here at Pennridge.
It's a nice time all around for other sports, too. I know you had some recognition for some of the female athletes.
We recently got 2 of our young ladies, Renee Gunning and our cross-country team, as well as Jana Redinger from our basketball team, received scholarships to Division I Villanova, which I'll be attending next year.
What do you think of the game so far?
Well, it's an interesting game when you figure the record of Quakertown 8-2 against Pennridge 9-3. It's holding up. Scores 14-14. So we expect to see better things in the second half.
Looks like it's shaping up to be a classic. Thanks a lot, Mr. Thompson. Back up to you guys.
Thanks, John, and thanks to Ventresca's full-service men's store located at 145 West State Street in Doylestown, where custom-made suit in sizes from 40 to 52 regular are all in stock, folks. So our silk and cotton casual shirts with dozens of colors and styles to choose from. Don't miss the outstanding sweaters, ties, socks, belts, and suspenders to complement your man's wardrobe.
And if you need a cummerbund and a bow tie for your formal for the Christmas season, Lenny can hook you up. 5-yard run by Smith, then a nice sack landing by Mike Nines for a loss of 3. Brings up 3rd and 8 with 3:21 to go. Coach Cherrybond calls his first time out.
Of course, and it's always a time for Nat's Pizza, a family ristorante located at 138 West State Street, Doylestown. Don't forget Via Veneto Italian ice, perhaps the finest Italian ice you'll find on this side of the Atlantic. That's making a big statement.
Yeah, I was going to say, you sort of covered some ground with that one.
I have a lot of miles there. We can go one and one.
There we go. Me too, pal. Listen, you know, we talked at the outset, what were the keys? The keys were turnovers. Pennridge has made a couple that have almost killed them. We talked about containing roads. They haven't done that spectacularly well. We'll say hi there. This is my friend on the right.
And the yellow.
There you go. And the other thing we said is who was going to stop the running game? And the answer is nobody really has yet.
Exactly. And whenever Quakertown is keyed on roads, Harris has been there. And, of course, both teams have other options. They're multidimensional, and that's why they're successful. That's why we've got 14 points scored by both teams and a lot more coming, I anticipate.
3rd and 8 from the Quakertown 42. Landgreen, little confusion in the backfield again, looking for Grill, but this time, oh, what a play by Dan Lorden. I'm not so sure he didn't get there at the same time as the ball.
Exactly. I'll tell you, it was very, very close, but Dan Lorden saw that one coming. He had the receiver well ahead in his sights, and I'll tell you, excellent timing. Here's a play, our good field level view here. You see Landgreen back, there's Lorden, 89. You see him shift. He's right over the receiver. Here's the ball. Lorden's about to step in. Boom! Right there.
Yeah, nice. Mr. Oldham will need some Ben Gay after that hit. That baby smarted even from up here. No gain on the play, so 4th and 14 from the 42. Rhodes back again. Schwager to kick. Rhodes took the last one right in the face mask, so he wants to do a little better than that. This one's a nice end-over-end. Fair catch called for. Rhodes will grab it at about the 28. So Pennridge back in business with 2.5 minutes to run the 2-minute drill.
Yeah, Schwager gets a nice foot into it. Looks like they got a brand new ball out there to finish here the first half. But I'll tell you, an exciting morning of football on Thanksgiving Day. A very special thanks. And, you know, our stands here at Poppy Field, of course, standing room only. And the sidelines are quite full. And, you know, as we look at everyone here, all of us have a lot to be thankful for in our lives, and just having the opportunity to share this wonderful day together. And on behalf of everyone, and Chris, myself, and everyone at TSM, we extend our heartfelt holiday greetings to everyone out there in our audience.
Well said, my friend. 1st and 10 as Harris rumbles up the middle. He'll pick up almost 10 yards. We'll see where they spot it, whether they move the sticks or not. That again, you know, Pennridge, one thing we haven't talked about, now's a good time to do it. They'll give him 9, so it'll be 2nd and 1. Pennridge does have the size advantage, and you wonder in the second half on a muddy day whether that's going to make a difference.
Well, it certainly could make a difference, and it seems like, too, they have a little bit of a speed advantage in their favor.
Okay, here comes Harris into the slot. Lorden out wide, Koshan behind. Last time this was a Koshan run out of this formation. There's a surprise. It's Koshan again. He bolts forward for 2, and that time knocked down by number 76. That's Zeke Hallman getting up off the pile. 6'5", 235, and a senior playing his final game here at Quakertown.
Yeah, and another man that we've heard a lot. We've seen his family earlier. John had an opportunity to Chris Messina on the bottom of that pile as well, and Chris also having a very good season at Quakertown and having a big day here at Poppy Yoder Field.
Lorden up top, Rhodes in the slot to the top, and it's Koshan out here in the slot. He'll now come behind Landgreen, so we come full screen. Now this looks like it could have been a screen, but instead it's Rhodes. A little high that time, and Mike Smith took the chance to whack him too.
Yeah. Well, it's high because Jesse Schwager, good number 24, got a hold of Briner there and was about to lift him up before he brought him down. The ball was flighted downfield, but a good defensive stop there. Boy, Quakertown, at times, it seems like they have a difficult time of getting by the offensive line. And other times, they seem seem to find the open seam, and they get a beeline right in towards Briner.
What do you have planned for today?
Plan today, have a nice turkey dinner, spend it with my family, have a little dessert, and it's either Pokemon or wrestling with my nephews.
There you go. Well, good luck and the best to your family.
How about
today.
yourself?
Well, I'll talk about that after this play. Briner, he's going to get snowed under, but he finds Harris out of the backfield. Boom, boom. He goes down, and finally it took a couple of times for the guys to hit him. Again, Pete Bartholomew in there on that tackle. Now Pennridge rushing up to the line of scrimmage, even though the clock stops as they move the chains with 1:28 to go. Jeff Hollenbach can smell a score.
Briner real cool on delivery. There you see it. Nice reception downfield, and of course,
Briner looking for Lorden to the left, and that one's going to get hit. And again, guess who it is? Yeah, it's Schwager and company putting on the rush that time, helped by number 58. That's Chris Messina, whose family we got to meet a little bit earlier, getting to Briner just as he threw.
Yeah, you look at Chris Messina, you know, he's not an imposing guy. 5'6", 180. I'll tell you, but his heart, you look at the size of a heart like that, he shows it right on the field. He's a big player. He's a monster of a player, doing a great job this afternoon.
Second and 10 from the 41. Koshan staying in to block. Rhodes out wide. He's beat his one man. Look at the moves. Swing and sway with Sammy Kay. Brought to you by Jason Rhodes. He'll pick up the first down and stop the clock with 1:12 to play.
Well, I'll tell you, there were 4 Quakertown Panthers there. Andy Dietz leading the way. Here it is. Look at this pass right outside to Rhodes. He gets up, makes the reception nice. Now, all of a sudden, you're going to see 4 white shirts. There they are. Gets by one. The other one in there doing a nice job coming in there, Pete Bartholomew. He's had a big afternoon as well.
Back live, Briner looking for Lorden. Ooh, that one almost picked off that time. That one thrown inside. Greg Bruner knocking it down, and you said, you know, Briner's done a good job of keeping the ball outside, so it's either the sideline or the receiver. That time, not the case.
That's exactly right. He pinched a little bit towards the middle too much, but you know, that could be just a matter of the receiver not getting back across time, because a lot of times, you know, those pass patterns, you're supposed to run out, fake, and then cut back in, but of course on the slick conditions, very difficult to do, and of course when the ball's thrown a fraction off the target, could easily be intercepted.
Second and 10 from the 27. Quakertown fans rumble in the seats. It's not a train going by. Briner looking back, pump fake. He gets hit just as he's ready to throw. Nice play again by number 5. That's our man Detweiler, right?
Yeah, Detweiler, number 5. I'll tell you, he's been making things happen all afternoon. He's a kind of a quiet, unassuming guy out there. Now, we talked about Chris Messina. Mr. Detweiler is a full 1 inch taller. He's 5'9". He's 170, a little more poundage, but of course he is quick. And of course, somehow Andy Briner doesn't always see him coming. The Panthers are happy about that because Detweiler and company have come up with some key defensive stops here in the second quarter.
I got to think if you're Quakertown, 3rd and 15 from the 34. If you can hold them here, go to the locker room even, you got to feel pretty good about your chances.
Exactly. You've got to feel pretty good. But like I said, the key was getting their first 7 points because I think they were a little bit concerned about, hey, how's Pennridge going to be at home? You know, a lot of times players come in when they're playing away from home, they're intimidated. And it's so important to have a successful couple of offensive series, defensive series, so that the players say, hey, wait a minute, you know, we're in this game. They scored early, they got the lead, they had the game tied up, they got the lead again, and they've got to come out in the second half certainly believing, and I'll tell you, it certainly would help our cause. Nat's Pizza, boy, if they ever delivered one today on Thanksgiving from Family Ristorante, and if you can find those good folks at 138 West State Street in Doylestown, and don't forget the Via Veneto Italian Ice. I'll tell you, referee, certainly, you want to see him smile, pop a Via Veneto Ice to him, and
3rd and 15 now, 34, 50 ticks left on the clock. Jeff Hollenbach out to talk to his troops. This is definitely 2-down territory here. They won't kick from this distance. Kraus, the flank man this time. Briner looking back. He's going to get hit. He's going to get hit. Number 74, that's Andy Dietz rumbling in, 6'4", 215 and a junior.
Well, Andy Dietz, he said, hey, in the first quarter, don't worry about me too much, but all of a sudden, this man has shown up to play here in the second quarter. We saw him on a couple of earlier defensive plays. Dietz assisted on a number of tackles. That time, he said to his teammate Detweiler, wait a minute, I'm going to have a go at it. Gets in there, comes up with a nice defensive play.
I'd love to know what Jeff Hollenbach's calling on 4th and 23. This has got to be everybody deep and throw the Hail Mary and hope for a lot. Here comes Quakertown again. Briner hit, but he has Kraus open, actually. Intercepted. Hendricks picks it off. 6 seconds, 5 seconds. He won't take it the distance. This will be the final or next to last play as Qtown tackles him at about the 35. 2 seconds left. It was the Hail Mary, and for a moment, Kraus was wide open.
That's right, but it was that intense pressure there coming on the defensive side from the Panthers that forced the ball up, and of course, Briner had a little bit more trajectory on that ball than he would have liked, and you know, Hendricks, an exceptional athlete, able to read the play, good speed, makes the interception. Fortunately, Qtown comes up with a tackle. Pennridge defense ought to be able to hold him here.
Smart move here. Roberts and Rhodes to double cover Grill as they figure he's going to go long. Instead, the ball inside to Mike Smith. They blow the play dead. Smith will get about 3. And I tell you, whale of a first half.
Well, the first half, and in case our audience just tuned in, stick around. There's going to be a lot more coming here your way in the second half.
There you see at the Barb Lynn Carpet One scoreboard, we're at halftime from Papa Yoder. It's Quakertown 14, Pennridge 14. Our halftime activities in just a moment here on TSM.
And with legend Herb Harris, Pennridge graduate from 1957. When you played here, what was the feeling like for the community and during the week and for the players leading up to the big game?
This was very exciting. I see some enthusiasm here that we used to see back in the old days, and I really appreciate this day.
Now, your brother is coaching for Pennridge.
That's correct. Jerry Harris coaches for Pennridge. He played here, and naturally his son Jimmy is playing on the team.
And that's your nephew?
That's correct.
Yeah, you must be real proud of him.
Yeah, we sure are.
Now, when you played at Pennridge, you guys were relatively successful.
Well, yeah, I was privileged to be a tackle on that team, and we had some real good players, some great coaches.
Who were some of the more well-known players that you played with?
Well, we played with Anonamaker and Barry Thomas and Krodhammel and Hendricks and, you know, just a host of guys that really wanted to play football.
And the coaching staff?
Well, we had a great coaching staff. I was privileged to have a coach, Papa Yoder, it's the field's named after, Ray Wispel, Put Hellman, and then Put Hellman became our coach, and this Quakertown rival was really going strong then.
And now you're back here. You were mentioning some of the stories about back when you played, there would be a line around the street.
That is correct. I got here at 8 o'clock this morning, and people started to come, but I remember back in the old days coming in on the bus, and there'd be lines down this street all the way down the road waiting to get into this game.
And people would actually bring step ladders.
That's right. People would bring step ladders and put them in the end zone so they could see over the crowd to see the game.
Well, it's coming back a little bit?
Oh, yes, it is. You got a great bunch of coaches and a great enthusiasm, and I'm just thankful. We have a lot to be thankful for here.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving, and thanks a lot for joining me down on the sideline. Herb Harris, one of the legends, as I said. Back up to you guys.
Thanks a lot, John, and our thanks to our friends at Van Tresca's full-service men's store, who can serve you in 4 different ways: custom-made clothing, former wear rental, ready-made clothing, and alterations on your new and existing clothing. John Price on the sideline for Van Tresca's as we get ready for the second half. 14-14, the storyline again. Who can stop the run? Nobody's really done it as yet. And then again, the other questions were, could we keep Rhodes inside? That's been sort of a hit and miss sort of thing to this point. And then the last thing, of course, is where were the turnovers going to factor into this thing? So those are the things that we said at the outset were going to be key. And as we get ready for the kickoff, we have to thank our friends at Bridget's Brownie.
That's right. I'll tell you, one of the finest desserts you can have on Thanksgiving for chocolatey treats that make great gifts for your friends, family, and business associates. Try Bridget's Brownies this holiday season. Call them at toll-free 1-888-340-2040 or visit them at www.bridgetsbrownie.com. Show your clients and your employees that they're special by giving them Bridget's Brownies. Order online at, again, www.bridgetsbrownie.com or call them toll-free at 1-888-340-2040. Man, I'll tell you, when I think of brownies, the nose works, the mouth, you can taste them in your mouth. You know, speaking of brownies, Chris, what do you have on the agenda today?
Well, thanks for asking. Chuck and Cindy are going to play host to Susan and I and the rest of the family. We're looking forward to heading up to Durham after the game today. As we come back live, Qtown around the side. The kickoff, by the way, went out of bounds penalty. So they got the ball at the 35, and on the first play from scrimmage, Qtown picks up 11 for a first down.
Well, I wish you and your entire family a very happy Thanksgiving.
Thank
like
you,
always,
sir.
it's certainly been an enjoyable experience working with you and our crew here, led by Tom Brunt. Special thanks to both football teams for giving us a very entertaining morning of Thanksgiving Day football.
And as we start the second half, the rain has stopped. The winds have picked up a little bit, but not too bad.
Temperatures dropped a little.
Yeah, we're down at 44 at this point. Qtown flanked out wide. Briner holding. Now he throws into a crowd to Kraus, and Qtown was probably about 25 yards of open field in front of him. Not a good decision by Andy Briner.
That's right, but it was Quakertown again getting some penetration up front. It was Steve Santarlis of Quakertown getting in there quick, and of course he had some good support there in the secondary to cover that potential pass.
We'll set the offense now for you. This is Lorden coming to the bottom of your screen. Jason Rhodes, the speedster, in the slot. Kraus is flanked up top, and it's Qtown behind quarterback Andy Briner on 2nd and 10 from the 47. Just underway in the second half. Briner in trouble again. He's going to be sacked by just about everybody. Key guy there, and he had plenty of time, was Bob Compton at the bottom of the pile.
Steve Santarlis again getting through, and number 77 getting there early. But I'll tell you, the defensive line here in these first couple of plays of the second half have been the key for the Panthers.
And I got to be honest, Briner's got to dump that ball. You can't take the sack there. There you see a young Packer fan waving from the sideline. So that's a loss of 10, 3rd and 20 from the Pennridge 37. And now you got to look for something long as Pennridge goes trips to the bottom, 3 wide receivers to the bottom of the screen. The blitz is coming. Briner dumps it short for Rhodes. That would have picked up about 5. And after the Qtown run, Pennridge looked really discombobulated.
Well, that's right. Again, Quakertown making some defensive adjustments that Pennridge didn't like. And, of course, Pennridge not allowing to establish that positive offensive momentum they had in the first half. But credit number 5 with a hurry on Briner. That's Rob Detweiler of Quakertown. Rob, again, having a big morning here at Papa Yoder Field.
Jesse Schwager and Steve Hendricks back for the punt from Davis. This one goes off the side of the foot, gets a bit of a roll. Pennridge will down it, but that one was only a 23-yard kick for Scott Davis.
Well, we talked about how important it was for Pennridge to come out at the start of the second half and be aggressive, but I think, once again, they didn't anticipate the defensive surge of the Quakertown Panthers. Now, the Panthers have an opportunity here right now, Chris, to take control of this game, especially if they can put some points on the board.
Landgreen 3, the quarterback. The backs are Hendricks 11 and Smith, who's been a load 34. Grill, the key receiver. He's number 19. Smith rumbles up the gut. He'll be tackled in the secondary by Aaron Roberts, but he'll pick up 11, and that's a first down at midfield for Quakertown.
Well, I'll tell you, that offensive line opened the gates. Brian Yaw, Jamie Detweiler, J.J. LaCava, all these guys in the front there really just blew that defensive line of Pennridge wide open there and allowed Quakertown to pick up a nice gain.
They're actually going to say that Smith was down just ahead of midfield, so it'll bring up second and a very short 1. Good chance to go long and see if they can make something happen. We'll see if they do that. Little swing pass out to Hendricks. He'll pick up the first down, but not by much. That could have been a lot more, but again, Aaron Roberts, who's been really the guts of this defense from his strong safety position, takes down Hendricks, but a gain of 2 and a first down.
Yeah, a good eye, Chris. You were right on the money, because initially you look back and you see Landgreen. He's looking downfield initially for Grill, and of course the secondary of Pennridge does a nice job with coverage, but the key word is option. Hendricks is there, open on the side. He delivers to it, and it's enough to get the first down.
And our thanks to Doylestown Sports Nutrition and Tanning Center, #1 in customer service and #1 in bringing you those replays throughout the day at 215-345-9920. Inside to Smith. He bangs through the middle for another 6-7 yards, and suddenly the Quakertown offensive line is owning this game.
Well, that's right. The offensive line's making it happen, but once again, it's Quakertown using all the options. What they show on the last play, they have the receiver Grill go deep, then they have one short. Right before that, they had a successful running play. Now what they have the Pennridge defense exactly where they want them, on their heels, backing up.
6 yards on that carry, 2nd and 4 from the 42. Again, inside to Smith. He busts up the middle. One man misses him. It's going to be Lorden to haul him down, but only after a gain of about 25 yards. We'll see where they spot it. But Smith's down to about the 15.
Well, if we have the good fortune of seeing this again, it was the spin-around move by Landry that made it happen. Spin it like a top, and again, the offensive line opening the gates. Smith with a nice run up, but fortunately for Pennridge, Lorden was back there to come up with a touchdown-saving tackle.
Smith comes up with 26 on that play. Quakertown in business on the move, 1st and 10 at the Pennridge 16. This is Grill in motion. He's a man who has to be watched. Set the single-season reception record in the first half. Smith, he'll walk down to about the 5, and all of a sudden, Pennridge can't get anything done out top. Jason Rhodes with the tackle.
Well, nice defensive play finally for Pennridge before it looked like Smith was heading towards the end zone. But you're right, this is where the defense can come up. Look at the handoff here. Once again, that hole again through the middle, but Smith using his talent, his ability, and his strength to just muscle forward to pick up a couple.
2nd and 2, so give Smith 8 on that one, and he has to be rapidly approaching the 100-yard mark. He's had a very impressive late morning, early afternoon. Landgreen with Grill in motion on 2nd and 2, 4 minutes into the second half. Thanks for joining us here on TSM. Landgreen looking for Grill. He's in the end zone. No, they say he didn't get both feet down. Nice play by Lorden to force him out.
Yeah. I like what I seen on all sides of the ball, starting with the snap from the center, but a monster of a block by Mike Smith. Now, we've seen his offensive ability as he muscles forward and churns out the yardage, but that time, watch this. Look at the play in the backfield here. You're going to see the pressure come up. A great block allows Landry to get the vision downfield, but as you mentioned, Lorden with a nice defensive play. There's a young man who's had a couple of consecutive big defensive stops for the Rams.
They didn't miss by much on that one. I'd be tempted to go back to it on 3rd and 2 from the 7-yard line. Instead, it's Smith up the gut. He finds a hole, and he's in. Smith from 7 yards out. Once again, Quakertown goes up on top. This time it's 20-14 with 7:54 to go here in the 3rd quarter.
Well, we said the team that comes out here at the start of the second half aggressive will have an opportunity to take control of the game, and it's been Quakertown. Now, Pennridge had the advantage. They had the ball first, couldn't get anything done. The Panthers defense stopped them, and then on their first offensive series of the second half, Quakertown strings together, Chris, several consecutive good plays, and they're on the board.
Drouse to hold, Landgreen, the first-string quarterback, to kick it soccer style. He's made 2 today. Let's make that he's made 3. No, they're going to wave that one off, and that could be key. He misses the extra point, but you won't miss when you go to Holbert Motor Cars. That's right, the Holbert family ready to take care of you as they have since 1954. Porsche, Audi, VW, you name it, they're ready for you. Family service, what you want in the dealership. Stop by today and tell them that we sent you, our friends at Holbert's.
Well, you know, from the sideline perspective of the coach, when you see those extra points, you kind of hold your breath, especially when you're in a bowl game that's this close. And you look at the scoreboard, 20-14. You know, Pennridge, they've got some runners. They're capable of striking through the air as well. You know, a field goal could win the game for them as well. So, once again, in the extra point, a lot of times what happens, a lot of younger players on a day like today that try to overpower the ball through, and has a tendency to throw you a little bit off the mark as you look at the Barb Lynn Carpet 1 scoreboard. That tells the story at the start of the second half.
A little bit worried. John Price has a whole bunch of attractive young ladies with him.
Typical Bond.
Yeah, we'll talk to him in a little bit. We're getting ready for the kickoff. Jesse Schwager to boot it. Pennridge has really moved their guys up. Rhodes and Koshan now at the 15. And that one looks like it could head for out of bounds, but Aaron Roberts will take it. He'll come up the gut to about the 36. So Pennridge will start with good field position. Todd Gaffney among those in on the tackle, and we warned you, here he is, John Price.
An excited group down here in the Quakertown sideline. You guys must be pumped. Your team has had a very successful season so far.
Yeah, it has. Best in 10 years.
And it must be a great way to finish off the season with a big, right now you guys are ahead. You're doing a good job.
Yeah, definitely. Being seniors here at Quakertown, we really like it a lot this year. It's an amazing year for us.
What were the highlights of the season so far for you guys?
Oh, just definitely pulling together as a squad, winning most of our games, and just having a great time.
Well, you're doing a great job because they're doing well out there, girls. Go ahead, give a big cheer. Back up up to you guys.
Thanks a lot, John. While we were away, Qtown laid the ball on the ground. Bartholomew with the recovery.
That's right, and some good defensive play by Zeke Coleman and Andy Dietz at Quakertown. They're all getting involved in the recovery. Defense has been the story for Quakertown.
Now, Pennridge has played from behind this year a couple of times, specifically at Souderton in a game that you did earlier this year. But you start to feel this thing slipping away a little bit. Qtown's not a kid who puts the ball on the ground a lot. And if Quakertown scores here, Pennridge is going to have to play uphill the rest of the day. Grill is the target. It was a bump and run. Rhodes smelled that one coming. Intercepted by Lorden. What a catch. What a circus catch by Lorden on the tip drill. I quite frankly thought Grill was interfered with downfield, but the rest didn't call it.
I'd agree with you, but when you call that team defense in the secondary, Nick Wareheim's in front, of course, and he's got the short side of the throw covered, but Lorden uses his height and his tremendous leaping ability to come up with a sensational play. I'll tell you, he's been the man of the match so far this afternoon for Pennridge.
A key turnover, just that quickly. Pennridge with the ball back at the 17. Here comes Rhodes. If he gets outside, it's going to be problems. Once again, Bartholomew, but I tell you, without Bartholomew, it's a long field.
That's right, but Bartholomew, I'll tell you, he's been one of the defensive leaders for the Panthers this afternoon. A big afternoon, and you can see just how quickly, with that one turnover, Chris, how the momentum now shifted in favor of the Rams.
They give Rhodes 9 on the play, so that brings up 2nd and 1 from the 26 of Pennridge. Briner under center, Harris, the big back behind him. Qtown on the wing, Rhodes in motion. Here comes Harris, bang, up through the middle. He's going to be stopped, number 77, your man Santaris again in there.
Santaris involved in there. It looks like Zeke Coleman, of course, is in there. And these guys have certainly had a busy afternoon on that defensive line. And I'll tell you, they've probably faced some of the best runners in the high school in the area.
And the thing is, if you're sitting at home today enjoying this game, Qtown, Harris, and Rhodes, they're all juniors. Believe it or not, they'll be back, all of them, next year. Briner on 1st and 10 from the 30. This time it's Qtown, but now a double wrinkle to the bottom of your screen. Lorden with Rhodes tucked behind him. Here, and Qtown fumbles again. I don't believe it. Qtown dropped the ball.
Well, I'll tell you, don't only blame it on Qtown. Give some credit to Mike Smith at Quakertown. He's the guy that got behind the line of scrimmage, shook it up the ball just a little bit, forced Qtown to knock it loose.
And again, you know what? 2 of the 3 turnovers today have been on that extended handoff.
Exactly.
Either Briner's not getting all the way out there. Here you go.
Here's
You'll
a look
see
at it. And you see Smith now in pursuit. There he goes. He's about to, and the ball's already loose. And at that time, right when you saw the ball spring loose, it looked like Mike Smith had his right hand on the hip of John Qtown and had something to do with the ball. Like you said, there's something mechanically has been, you could say, defective with the handoff out there.
The last 2 minutes brought to you by Sara Lee, where turnovers come early and often. This has turned into a slop fest here in the last 2 minutes. Anyway, here we go. Quakertown's going to try and not turn the ball over. Smith bangs it inside for about 3 yards. 3 turnovers in the last minute and a half, as what had been a pretty clean game to that point has now gotten a little bit out of hand.
Well, I think what's happened is, you know, Pennridge also recognizes, you know, go back, you know, when you're the home team, a lot of times there's more pressure on the home team, okay? And they had expected to be in front at halftime. They thought at the start of the second half they could take control of the game. It hasn't happened their way. You have to wonder about their confidence level at this point.
Smith up the middle. He'll pick up the first down again, as again the Pennridge defense just doesn't have the answer for the up the middle run right now. And for the first time today, we see Josh Derry check into the game in the secondary. We're not sure why he didn't play in the first half. He has been in and out of Coach Hollenbach's doghouse over the last couple of weeks, so we're glad to see Derry back in there. But Landgreen and company, 1st and 10 at the 15. And Smith, the workhorse, he'll go inside the 5 this time as Rhodes and Derry hang on for dear life.
They sure good defensive play there by Pennridge, but I'll tell you, the battle is being won by Quakertown in the trenches.
This portion of our game this afternoon brought to you in part by Montgomery Cycle Center, Montgomeryville Cycle Center at their new location on Route 309 in Hatfield. And we thank them for joining us on this Thanksgiving Day. 1st and goal to go on the 4. Quakertown threatening to break this one open. It's Smith inside. He stumbles, rumbles, and fumbles, but doesn't get quite to the goal line. Things get a little stacked up in there.
Right, the key is that Quakertown still has possession of the ball. They're not turning it over. They're getting closer and closer. And I'll tell you, Pennridge needs a very big defensive play to turn things around. And it seemed like on that last turnover on their behalf that they were able to shift momentum, but then again, they just lost it again.
2nd and 1, it's either Smith up the gut or we swing around in. Landgreen is not going to get in. Landgreen is not big enough to get in against all the horses that they have there. They need to pound it with Smith. Just by example, Landgreen 6'1", 180. Smith is the guy you want to go to. He's 5'11", 180, but boy, he is a much more physical presence in the center of that line.
Well, I think what they were hoping was that Brian Yaw, who's on the offensive line there. Now, Brian, he's pretty good size at 6'4", 280. How do you like that, Chris?
There you go.
A lot of turnover right there.
Yeah.
Anyhow, Brian couldn't make any penetration. That time, you've got to credit the defensive line of Pennridge. Scott Rotzel leading the way there in the middle.
3rd and 1 from the 1. Here comes Smith. Yeah, we told you if you give it to Smith, it's in. And all of a sudden, it's Quakertown 26-14. And if you're Pennridge, you got to be a little bit worried now. There's still time. 4:10 left to go here in the 3rd quarter. But now it's 26-14. That Pennridge offense is going to have to do a lot of work to get them back in. They still have 16 minutes to do it. Landgreen likely to be the kicker here, although they could go for 2.
Yeah.
Just keep in mind, Landgreen missed the last extra point, and it does look like they will go for 2 here.
Yeah, it's a sign of a team that feels confident and also showing great respect for the potential comeback ability of the Pennridge Rams. And hey, they're not going to showing 3 receivers.
Yeah, trips to the right. Josh Derry saying, hey, who's joining me? Smith, they'll fake the handoff. They're going to just throw it into the crowd, I think. Oh, and they go inside, and it was dropped. Oldham, who had the touchdown pass, had the wet ball slide through his hands. That could be very, very important down the stretch.
That's right. So 2 mixed extra points is difference, but the key is for Quakertown, Chris, 2 touchdowns. Here we have another look at it on the attempt for the 2-point conversion. So good blocking in front there. Doing a nice job is J.J. LaCava. He's had some big plays this afternoon as well. And there you see the pass just right through the arms, but Oldham, got to give him a lot of credit. Knows how to get open at the right place at the right time.
That was a little bit tougher catch than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was up a little higher. That ball was low to the ground. The Barballoon Carpet 1 scoreboard shows you Quakertown 26, Pennridge 14. And I think if you follow Suburban 1, you got to be a little bit surprised by this score at this point in the ball game.
Well, you certainly can't count the Rams out. And, of course, this is a critical play coming up, the kickoff. And, you know, you've got Rhodes back there. You've got Harris back there. Kickoffs have a tendency. They've been short. Keep in mind, field is wet. It's sloppy. They break one here. Pennridge is right in it, and they are very capable of doing it. We talked about their size advantage, so that should weigh in their factor when it comes to blocking. Also, I always felt on the ground, they have just a little bit more speed.
The guy to watch, and the reason nobody's sitting around on the Pennridge side going, uh-oh, we're in trouble, is Rhodes because of the speed. Florian's absolutely right. They can be back in this in a hurry, but we're on the blue sideline, and it is really loud over here right now. Schwager boots it. Not much of a kick, and all but a fair catch called for that time. Number 71, Matt Long, saying, yeah, okay, I'm going to fall on this one. But Pennridge, excellent field position. They'll start at their own 37.
Yeah, you know, I'm beginning to wonder, is that by design, that play, that it's almost like a pooch kick? We want to go short because we really don't want to return, or they're just not getting all the foot into the ball, and they're obviously trying to keep it away from the speedster, Rhodes himself.
Lorden to the bottom, Koshan in the slot, Rhodes with Harris in the backfield. Briner needing to make something happen. There's Rhodes. Rhodes into the secondary. He cuts it back. He cuts it back. He's down inside the 40 to the 37, and a perfect example of what we said, a 26-yard run for Rhodes, his 3rd 20-plus yard run of the day.
Well, the key was, Chris, all Rhodes needed was just a little bit of space. Offensive line did a great job. Great surge there. Rhodes just needs a little bit of the crack in the doorway, makes his way downfield. Hendricks comes up with a nice tackle on a very wet and slippery field.
Rhodes and Harris behind Briner. 1st and 10 from the 37. The boom. Harris up the gut for another 8, and suddenly Pennridge is starting to feel it again.
Yeah, that's
now
right.
the green sideline's noisy, and it's gotten awfully quiet over here.
Jesse Schwager, who's done a lot of hitting and banging here this afternoon, he was finally able to upend Harris as he went downfield, but he got up a little bit slower, meaning that, hey, he's getting tired of this, and the running game does have a tendency to wear the opponent out physically.
Harris slides forward. They give him the first down, 1st and 10 from the 27. Again, Briner, and if the running game's working, keep feeding it to him. No reason to pass, although they're taking a lot of time. Qtown in motion. Briner gets it off, the handoff to Rhodes. Rhodes slips inside, but only for about a yard.
Well, no surprise, Rob Detweiler snuck his way behind the line of scrimmage and almost forced another turnover, but fortunately, Briner had everything under control. But you mentioned, stay with the running game. I noticed Dan Lorden shifting all the way out. We've also seen him come up with some nice big catches. Perhaps that may be a factor on this drive.
As you can see, it's rather muddy here. Harris now, Rhodes in the slot, Qtown in the slot. Here comes Rhodes back in motion. Inside they go to Harris. Harris bangs through the middle, down inside the 20. That'll pick up about 5-6 yards, and it'll give Pennridge a key 3rd and about 2 or 3.
You could say a football's version of a tug of war out there, but Rob Detweiler, number 5, is wherever the ball is, he's like he's got a magnet right on his shoulder pads drawing him to it. There's a young man playing a lot with a lot of intensity, a lot of desire, and having a heads-up football game here this afternoon.
A key 3rd and 1 for Pennridge, and you gotta believe this is Harris country. The young man is strong and powerful on 3rd and 1. Pennridge will take 2 cracks here if they need it. Briner barks out the signals. Qtown swings out to the wing. Rhodes now back in the backfield, and instead they go to Rhodes, the speedster. I don't know about the call, but it worked. Rhodes sneaks down inside the 14, but I tell you, Hendricks made a nice play, because if he doesn't slow down Rhodes, it could have been a lot worse.
2 guys that have worked very well, and you mentioned one, Hendricks, but look at Mike Berger's assisting. Look at a handoff here. They make the switch. Rhodes again taking advantage of the right side of tackle, makes his way around a couple of defenders. Hendricks, and then followed up in there nicely by Berger. Good team defense for the Panthers.
Talked about Berger a lot today. Now 1st and 10 for the green at the Quakertown 14. Harris the sole back, Qtown in motion. This looks like it could be a sprint option. There's the wide handoff. Harris again inside, and he has played very well today. He'll be down to about the 6. We'll see where they mark it, as the field's getting a little chewed up and it's hard to mark the ball now. But Harris has played well. Of course, he had the touchdown early. That's
amazing. It's amazing what success does to the visiting crowd. We mentioned just a few minutes ago how loud it was here on the Quakertown side. Now things have quieted down quite a bit here and have picked up on the opposite side, which is the Rams side of the field.
2nd and 7, or let's make that 2nd and 3. Harris a gain of 7 from the 6. They fake it, come back to Rhodes. Rhodes close to the goal line, but he'll be stopped at about the 2. But more importantly, Florian, a 1st down. They'll move the chains.
That's right. Good defensive stand in there, and it's Steve Santarlis. Now, there's a guy we've heard quite a bit here in the second half. He's doing a job up there at the defensive line of scrimmage. But, you know, Rhodes was making a diagonal towards that far side goalpost. I think if he would have looped a little bit, he might have been able to catch the corner of the end zone.
Now they bring in all the studs up front. Rhodes comes out. They put in number 50. That's Josh Small as a wing back. So this would be a power left. That's where Qtown goes, and boy, Hendricks and company smelled that one.
They sure did, and that's where Pennridge is going to have to do something a little bit different. They've run so many running plays now that it seems like the defensive side of the ball, Quakertown has been able to not only make, but they read the adjustment first, then make the necessary adjustment, come up with a key stop. I would look for Lorden, a simple pass play, or at least fake like you're going to pass, to give you a little more space to execute that running play.
All right, since you're calling plays, I'll call one. Qtown, the inside handoff off the Delaware misdirection. The old scissors play. No, Briner keeps it. He'll walk in. He'll walk in. What a great call, and neither of us made it.
That's all right. Good call. But you see, that's the beauty of this game. The ability to be creative. Coach Hollenbach made the right call. That's why he's there, Chris, and that's why you and I are here.
That's right. He gets paid a lot of money. No, I'm just kidding. Jeff's a great guy, and he's done a good job with this program. Our thanks to our friends from Holbert's for bringing you yet another touchdown. Score a great deal in a new VW, Audi, or Porsche from Holbert's, Route 611, Warrington, in business since '54 with family service. Aaron Roberts, high snap. He'll boot it through, though. That makes it 26, key number 21 for the extra point. Pennridge within 5. So now 2 field goals or 1 score, and they have it. And all of a sudden, the momentum, the big mo has shifted again.
That's right. Well, you talk about 2 field goals, 6 points, but if you're Pennridge, after that last offensive drive, you're thinking, we don't need a field goal, just get us the ball back. Now look for their defense to try to force the key word, turnover.
That was the key question I was going to ask you. How important is this next series for the Quakertown offense? Do they have to establish, if they go 3 and out, what happens?
Well, I'll tell you, if they go 3 and out, they're in big trouble. Their defense, just looking at them in the last couple of plays, they're tired. They're tired because not only have they been backing up, they've been having to take a lot of physical punishment. You kept saying it. Pennridge has got size, they got speed, their offensive line went to work, and you know what? In the mud, when you keep backing up, you're expending twice as much energy. That's going to be a factor. However, the offense needs to maintain possession for Quakertown to help out the D, and they can also help their cause if they put more points on the board, because now all of a sudden they saw a 2-touchdown lead evaporate into just 5 points.
We have 20 seconds, that's right, 20 seconds left here in the third quarter.
It was a fast.
This will be a fast one. Of course, we had the 3 turnovers right in the middle, which made things a little scrambly. But from a 14-14 tie, 2 quick scores by Quakertown. Now Pennridge back in business. Aaron Roberts to kick off, and he will boot the ball deep. This will go to Hendricks at about the 20. Hendricks 25 to 30. Up to about the 32, and that's just about it. Quakertown will get 1, maybe 2 plays in before we change ends of the field. And we should note, most of the scores have been to our right, if you will, today.
That's right.
So, and they're throwing the hot dogs into the stands again on the Pennridge side.
But you notice, only on that side, Chris. Does that mean the next time we come here, we should set up on the other side?
I don't know. We got to think of something here. All right, Quakertown, a key question to answer, and quite frankly, the Pennridge defense has to show it can stop the inside run game, because Smith has been devastating. There he is again, and that's only about 2 yards. They look much better on that one as Roberts filled the middle, as well as number 85, Rick Nines.
Well, we talked about Quakertown's coaching staff. You mentioned Jeff Hollenbach, not only himself is a great coach, he's got a great staff. Don't kid yourself. They've made some adjustments as well. Look for them to try to make something happen here in the 4th and final quarter.
And as you can see, we're done with 3 quarters. It has been a tremendous Thanksgiving Day football game. As we step aside, the Barb Lynn Carpet One scoreboard shows you Quakertown 26, Pennridge 21. Back in a moment here on TN. And we're back for the 4th quarter, the final quarter of the Suburban 1 League football season at Pennridge. It's Quakertown and Pennridge. You see the score. Quakertown on the march, 1st and 10 at the 45. And again, they go inside, this time though to Hendricks, and Hendricks is stopped very, very quickly that time by the tri-captain, Kurt Wargo.
Yeah, Kurt Wargo, you haven't heard his name a lot, but I'll tell you, on every play, on every key play, his leadership has been the key for the Pennridge defensive side of the ball. He's been a big player. Not only this year, he's had a great career here at Pennridge.
They've done a pretty good job on Wargo and Bolsar, who were very effective early, but since then, it's been a lot of Quakertown blocking. 2nd and 10, no gain for Hendricks. This time Landgreen fakes it. He goes long. Oh, and that play was open. Oh, you got to catch that. Oldham had it go through his hands. He had about 3 yards on Eric Krause.
And there's a young man, when we saw him earlier in the first half, you say, where did this guy come from? He had great hands. You'd expect him to drop it in the game. Look at this play right there, perfectly thrown ball. And of course, Nate Landgreen very much on the mark, on the delivery with that. Greg Oldham says, hey, wait a minute, look at my gloves. They're a little muddy, they're a little slicker than they were in the first half.
Our replay brought to you by Doylestown Sports Nutrition and Tanning Center, #1 in customer service. Give them a buzz, 215-345-9920. Key 3rd and 10 now for Quakertown. Landgreen back to pass. He'll be sacked. We talked about how this defensive line has been slowed in the last couple of quarters. Mike Nines, the big guy, comes rumbling through and makes the sack.
Well, Mike Nines and Wargo together with that entire defensive line, that has been the difference. When they've been getting beat at the line of scrimmage, that's when the Panthers have really moved the ball with ease, Mike Smith and company. But when they stand tall, when they come up with the big plays, and that was one right there, here's where Pennridge will have a chance now to get the ball back and make something happen.
Coach Benfield's defense does it after 1 first down, so 4th and 16. Schwager, who has kicked a lot today and has seen a lot of high snaps, gets this one away. And this one is not good. This one is not good.
Quakertown hollering.
Schwager got run into, and they're not calling it.
Yeah, there's definitely pressure.
And guess which side of the field we're on? Just listen to these folks. Holy cow. And I got to be honest, I didn't see a Schwager got slid into or run into.
Well, there was some pressure coming, and there really wasn't anyone in front of him to protect him. There was some contact made. The question was, the official was there to make the call.
Coach Cherrybond's real close to getting the penalty here. He is livid. He may have the right to be livid, but he is livid, and the referees are not giving him any time. Reiner on first down. There's Rhodes. Rhodes going to the outside. Rhodes, one man to beat. He cuts back. He rips off another impressive 19 yards for Jason Rhodes.
Yeah, Mike Berger finally came up with a stop, but you know what's dangerous about Rhodes, Chris, is when he picks up the first couple of yards, he has tremendous speed. It doesn't take him much time to build that momentum, but fortunately Mike Berger was able to connect with him in a tackle. Otherwise, it looked like he would have had clear sailing down the far right sideline.
1st and 10, Pennridge at the Quakertown 47. Dry ball brought into the game. Qtown, the only running back behind Reiner now. And Rhodes has got to be well over 100 yards in this game. This is Kraus in motion. Fumbled snap. Reiner does the smart thing. He just falls on it. Loss of 1, 2nd and 11.
Well, this is the extra player on the field, the elements. You know, now we talked about it today, the temperature dropping as the game progresses, but it's wet out there. We had some rain, we have intermittent showers, and of course you see what can happen. But like you said, good players know how to handle adverse situations. Reiner did the smart thing. Good adjustment.
Blue hair people running by us. They're Quakertown seniors. They have the right to do that.
They still got their shirts on.
Yeah, 2nd and 11 at the 48 for Pennridge. Inside they go, not much. Not much that time. Harris, maybe 2.
Defensive line again coming up big for Quakertown, and around there was Pete Bartholomew. Now he's been a key, and you look at number 76, Zeke Hallman, you'd heard his name, and he's quite a size out there. But that defensive side of the ball, they're going to be able to try to win the ball back for Quakertown.
Another key juncture in this contest. 3rd and 10 at the 47. Quakertown wants a stop to get the punt. Of course, Pennridge wants to keep moving. Rhodes in motion. Reiner fading back, looking for a receiver, scrambling a little bit, now dumping it. Rhodes is open. Rhodes will go to the sideline. One man to beat. Nice play by Hendricks to knock him out at the 10, but Rhodes picks up 37 on the swing pass.
Well, I'll tell you, Reiner had a nice block in front of him because Quakertown did everything to put some pressure on him, but it was the block that allowed Reiner to complete the pass. Rhodes had clear sailing in a secondary, and Hendricks with a key big play. There's Reiner, nice field level view with that slide. Look at him, pressure all around him. Smart pass right to Rhodes. Look at him. Rhodes immediately takes it to the near side away from everybody. Will Hendricks finally comes up with a stop for the Panthers.
1st and 10 from the 11. Harris, not much, maybe a yard or 2 that time. Zeke Hallman and the boys up front smelled that one out. And quite frankly, now the inside game seems to be shut down again.
That's right. It's well, you know, when you get into that red zone and you're only a few yards away from the goal line, the field essentially shrinks. So you would say it should be the defender's advantage on that particular play. This is where you have to become creative. Now you have to look at Lorden again. You have to look at a potential pass coming up for Pennridge.
Lorden at the top of your screen, Qtown in the slot, Harris and Rhodes behind the quarterback. Misdirection, Rhodes slips through a couple of holes. Nice tackle that time, number 40. Mike Berger again knocks him off his pins, gain of 2.
Well, I think we're getting to the point where we'd run out of stickers to put on Mike Berger's helmet because he's had such a big afternoon, coming up with so many key stops as he showed us right there against that man, number 40 on the green. Rhodes, who's had a wonderful Thanksgiving day of offensive football, and still a lot more to go. 7:45 to play, I guess, in regulation.
3rd and 7 from the 8. Pennridge can get a first down at the 1. Here's the play. Nice misdirection cutback by Qtown, but only to the 5, a gain of 2. So now 4th and 4. Do you kick or do you run?
Well, you can kick and be safe, but I mean, you're that close, you got to try to make it happen. And no surprise, a good defensive stand here by Quakertown on the goal line.
And if you're interested, this would be a 22-yard field goal. Surprisingly today, we have seen much more of Roberts kicking the ball than Davis, which leads you to believe that Jeff Hollenbach is going to, as Florian suggested, go for it. 4th and 4. Key play of the game right here with 7 minutes to go. Reiner under center. Here comes Qtown in motion. Play's going to the left. And Harris is met right away. Harris is met right away, and Detweiler again.
Rob Detweiler, number 5, he's alive. You've got to like him. A little guy, a little frame with a huge heart. That's been the difference. I like the play call. You got to go for it. You got to make it happen. And what I wanted to say before the play took place, Chris, is that is what you call a character builder. That's the type of situation where winning and losing is decided. It all comes down to, a lot of times, one particular play.
Now, Quakertown's got to be careful here. 1st and 10 at the 10. A turnover here would be a disaster. Inside they go. Big surprise. Smith, he'll pick up a couple.
Well, and that's why you have a good defensive side for Pennridge as well. You know, once again, one of the fundamental basics that defensive players are taught is how to create turnovers, learn how to strip the ball, learn where to hit the runner to spring that ball loose. This is where Pennridge, even though they've got Quakertown pinned back deep in their zone, they could, like you said, force a turnover and run it in for the go-ahead points.
Landrine brings him up 2nd and 7. Smith, who's just been a stud all day today, gets the ball again, and Nines and company knew that one was coming. And I think Quakertown, because of the field position, has to be a little bit predictable here, and Smith's the obvious guy.
Well, they're well aware of the situations out there. They're well aware how difficult it is. Oldham himself had a ball slip through his hands. They're aware of it. They're going to be fundamental. They're going to be basic. And I'm telling you, Pennridge is doing what they have to do on the defensive side of the ball. The key word is D for desire. What we're seeing, Pennridge Rams defensive unit really making it happen.
I want to talk for a minute about Dan Lorden. As you notice, we haven't heard the words Chris Grill in quite some time. Now would be a smart time to look for him. He is on the right side of the line of scrimmage to the bottom of your screen. They fake it to Smith. They're trying to run something deep. He's going to be sacked. It's a safety, I think. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
The oddball safety, and now the field goal ties it.
There you go. Who would have ever predicted that? Jimmy Harris with a key defensive play. I talked about it. D for desire. Defenses usually desire. Here it is. Good protection initially, but this coverage was really good in the secondary. He needed too much time. Harris comes in.
And
nice play.
Landrine hurts himself by fading back.
That's right. But initial pressure put out there by Mike Bolsar. Mike has also had a wonderful morning of football here Thanksgiving Day.
Now, Florian, for the folks who only watch football on Thanksgiving, not only is the safety 2 points, but Pennridge gets the ball back. Quakertown gets either a place kick or a punt, a free kick, if you will, from their own 20-yard line. So Pennridge ought to come away from this with excellent field position.
Well, you know, we talked about it, you know, and this is when you say a team. A team in football consists of offense, defense, and special teams. We saw the offense struggle. For a while there, Chris, they had momentum, but you got to give credit to the Quakertown defense. They had a nice goal line stand, but then it was up to the defense. And you know what you got to like? You know, and this is where Jeff Hollenbach has the confidence in his team. He knows that, okay, we at least our offense gave the ball away deep down the field. It was time for defense to go to work. They did. Not only did they come out with a stop, they came away with points. They put the team now within 3 points of tying this game up.
Rhodes and Qtown back deep. Quakertown will elect to place kick this with Schwager. We should be able to get a little more mo behind the ball. Keep in mind, 3 points will tie this. We could go to overtime. That would be highly interesting. As if we need enough drama. We've had much of it already. Schwager, the ground ball. Pennridge is going to get excellent field position out of this. As Jason Maurer grabs the ball, he's tackled out of bounds. That could have been a late flag, but I don't think they're going to call it. Pennridge will get the ball somewhere in the neighborhood of the 37-yard line. So another short field position in the fourth quarter has been all green. And we thank our friends at Montgomeryville Cycle Center for sponsoring this portion of our game. Remember, they've come up the road on 309. They're now in Hatfield. Visit them in their new showroom. They've been under roof for about 6 weeks now, doing well at that new location. Reiner brings them up, talks to Wargo, maybe a little bit of confusion. Here comes Qtown to the bottom of your screen. Running play, yup. Rhodes up the middle. Rhodes will break through. No one will catch him. The chance to dance for number 40 as he goes and gives Pennridge the lead. What a day for Jason Rhodes.
Well, it was the Rhodes show, but compliment that offensive line. Pennridge, the defense got the job done, and you could just see when the defense was on the field, those guys for the offense who were out there the last drive, they were stopped by Quakertown, how determined they were to make it happen when they came out. The very next play, they get the ball back, and of course the offensive line opens the gates, opens the floodgates, and Rhodes goes right down the middle for the 3-point lead, the conversion pending.
Rhodes from the 37 with 5:15 to go. Aaron Roberts drills the extra point, and Florian, that is essential because that gives them a 4-point lead, which means a field goal no longer ties it. Pennridge 30, Quakertown 26, another score. I tell you, Holberts is getting their money's worth today. Down to John Price on the sidelines. John, what do you have for us?
Game's bringing them all out. A couple local high school luminaries standing next to me. Scott Hagan, one-time CB West great, went on to continue his career at Millersville, came back to coach at West. You're just a high school fan. How does this game stack up against the games that you've seen?
This is definitely one of the best Thanksgiving Day games I've seen in a long time. Taking me back to the mid-'80s watching the East-West game on Thanksgiving. This is one heck of a game. 5 minutes to go in a 4-point game. Anything could happen.
Now alongside of you is TJ, Tim Johnson, crafty Central Bucks East quarterback. Tim, you also a media luminary as well. Tim, what are your impressions of the game?
Outstanding game, John. Both teams obviously have done their homework in this game, especially Quakertown. Give credit to the coaches. The staff did a great job in film work, but I think Pennridge right now is showing you why they're a state playoff team and come back in this ball game. We got 5:15, plenty of time left in this game to see what happens. Quakertown's on fire. We'll wait and see what happens.
Great job, guys. Back up to you.
Well, there you have it. Quakertown ran the old wooden Indian. I'll tell you about that in a minute. Our thanks, first of all, to Van Treska's Custom Clothing and Formal Wear. Stop by and see Lenny today, 215-348-3139 at 145 West State Street in Doylestown. The wooden Indian was invented by Souderton. They ran it a lot in the 40s. Everybody got together. Everybody handled the ball twice, including the refs. Used to work once a year. That was not the time it was going to work for Souderton or for Quakertown in this game. They're pinned deep. 1st and 10 on the 11. Let me suggest again, Chris Grill. Jason Rhodes in single coverage. They got to come back to Grill. There it is, over the middle. That's the pass they ran for the touchdown. Didn't work that time and was almost intercepted.
That's right. Pennridge defense really had an eye on that, and who else but Aaron Roberts to be there in anticipation of it, but he sprung the ball loose. The ball was alive there in the air for a moment, almost picked off, but a good defensive stand here by Pennridge.
Now, we got 5 minutes. Quakertown doesn't have to pass every down. They got clock to work with.
They certainly can, and they could utilize that to their benefit. But I think what they feel uncomfortable about, Chris, is that they're so close to their goal line with the fresh memory of having a safety against them on that last series. They certainly would feel a little bit better with a little more breathing room behind them.
2nd and 10, and Landgreen running for his life again. This time he completes it, though. That'll be close to a 1st down. Nice concept play, and Oldham hung on.
Yeah, what you got to like about good players, after they make a mistake, they're resilient. They find a way to come back. We saw Oldham drop a couple of heartbreaking passes earlier in the game, and you know what? Didn't affect the kid. Had his concentration level, and a real difficult play. Landgreen showing a lot of character in pursuit by 2 defenders, delivers a pass on the run. Oldham with a nice completion.
They're going to bring the sticks out to measure this one, as you see the replay there. Sticks will come out. I think he is just short, but we'll see. Nope, he's going to have it by a ball. Yeah. There you go. So Quakertown moves the sticks, and that's very, very important.
It's a very important play because it sustains the drive, but the key is, the point I made just a few minutes ago is that, hey, Quakertown didn't feel comfortable with that short distance to their own goal line behind them. Now they have a little bit more room. Now the field looks or feels, more important, it feels a lot bigger. Perhaps we'll see some more running plays coming up here for the Panthers.
Oldham to the top of your screen. Grill in the slot. 1st and 10, Quakertown at the 22. Landgreen back. Coming in is Harris. He forces the pass, and it's a short hopper to Grill, who was well covered by Jason Maurer.
Yeah, I'll tell you, good penetration at the line of scrimmage there by Pennridge. They got some early heat there on Landgren, and once again, it's Harris and company leading the way. Jimmy Harris just doing a great job. You know what I like about it is the game winds down to the final minutes. I don't see any change in the intensity level. It's the same intensity we had at the start of the game, and I'll tell you, both of these 2 teams need to be congratulated for giving us such an enthusiastic and a heart-rendering performance here today on Thanksgiving Day.
This is as good a game as we've had all season. 4.5 to go. 2nd and 10 for Quakertown. from their 22. Landgreen fakes the handoff to Smith. Goes into the, oh, Joshua Derry, you got to catch that, my friend. It hit him right in the numbers.
Josh Derry, this is Thanksgiving Day. Somebody's handing you not only an apple pie with chocolate icing, you got to bring that baby home. It was right there, but again, good pressure on the quarterback, Nate Landry. He had to force it into triple coverage. Pennridge that time almost came up with it.
Joshua's dad works for our company. I can tell you, Gary's going to talk to me on Friday. He's going to say, the boy had it, Chris. He dropped it. We know, Gary. We know.
Rewind the tape.
3rd and 10 at the 22. Key play here for Quakertown. They got to pick it up. Fake to Smith. The pressure's on, and he's sacked. He is sacked. And who else? Jimmy Harris.
Jimmy Harris.
He's had a whale of a game. Does it again.
And Tri-Captain Kurt Wargo. I'll tell you, leadership. We go back to earlier in today's telecast, Chris. You mentioned the key word for Pennridge, leadership. There it is there. When you got to get the job done, who's going to step up and make it happen?
Now, you know, 4th and 22 at your own 7, you got to kick the ball away. It's killing you to do this, but you got to do it. And this is where Schwager has got to be big. He's got to keep this thing from Rhodes, because if Rhodes gets a hold of it and can make some yardage, this is going to be really tough. Flag down, we don't know what that is, and a real wobbler comes out. This thing gets, Schwager, you know, has gotten some good rolls today. This thing will be downed at the Quakertown 36, but we got to see what the penalty is on. And the refs are pointing at Pennridge, so I'm not sure. I think they may be calling too many guys
players,
on the field.
That's exactly what it appears
now,
to be.
The problem is 4th and 22, that makes it 4th and 17, but it does give you some more field room.
Schwager.
If Jeff Hollenbach finds out he had too many kids on the field, somebody's going to be running laps forever.
Well, you see that.
Yep, and that's the call.
And that's something you don't want to happen, especially at the end of the season. You can expect that in preseason, earlier in the season, but at this point of the season, you're winding down, you're in a critical game. As a coach, you just certainly don't want that to happen. It's a mental mistake. You can't afford to have mental mistakes in big games.
So the Quakertown side has to decide, do they want to kick it over or give the field position and decline it? Looks like they're going to kick it over, because Schwager did not get a whole lump of that thing. I mean, the kick went 29 yards. I'm sure he'd like to have that one back. Now, let's see here. All right.
You know, there's a lot of time left.
Going to move the ball all the way up here, Florian, to the, let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20. The field markers are hard to read. They're a little muddy. 24-yard line. So that's a 17-yard penalty. That's very important.
Yeah. And the thing is, you wonder sometimes if, looks like Quakertown
may go for it here.
Yeah, they may try to go for it.
4th and 8.
I was going to say either go for it or do they have a fake punt in their playbook?
Now to hold it. Now Pennridge, I think, is calling a timeout. Yeah, Pennridge saw this one just the same way you and I did and said, hey, hold it. What are they doing?
They're going to try something. Sure, why not? 3:40 left. It's a close game. One big play now will make the difference in the outcome of this game.
Let's turn our attentions as we see our friends from Nats coming up on the screen, and we thank them for their sponsorship of this game. You like the Italian ice, I know that.
I know.
138 West State Street in Doylestown. I like the Strombolis. Either choice, you're good to go.
Sounds good.
Talk for us a little bit, because the folks will see this game, and then in a couple of days, we'll see West Abington Heights. What do you expect? I think this one's pretty much in the books for West. Still got to play it.
Yeah, I would think. I think, you know, if you're an opponent or a potential opponent of CB West, you know, you've got to say to yourself, hey, they're a good team. But the key is you've got to find a way to beat them. And, you know, playing against a better team sometimes gives you the ability to elevate your level of play as well. Like I said, CB West, I see them rolling all the way to the state championship final. However, a couple of years ago, we had done some playoff games out in the Harrisburg area. I think they played against Central Dauphin. Central Dauphin gave them a real scare, meaning that, hey, they can have an off day, they can have a bad day, and come up short.
4th and 8, Quakertown goes for it with 3:40 to go. Grill in motion. He's got to be watched. They swing left, and they're going to go to Grill, and it's way over his head. Derry and Rhodes out and covered. Pennridge will take over on downs at the Quakertown 25. and now the complexion of the game really shifts because the Quakertown D has got to make a stop.
Well, good quarterbacks know how to make good, quick decisions. That time Landgreen had himself in trouble. He had his target, but guess what? Pennridge knew who the target was. 5-man coverage on one receiver. No other options. Landgreen did the right thing, high and wide. No chance of a turnover. Now the defense at Quakertown has to come up big, just like Pennridge's did a few plays ago.
1st and 10, Briner under center, Rhodes and Harris, Koshan in the slot, Derry out wide. Rhodes, nice play by Hendricks, but somehow Rhodes makes a miss. I tell you, Rhodes surprised me, but Hendricks has had a whale of a game.
What do they call that? 4-wheel drive. That's exactly what Rhodes, and Rhodes says, wait a minute, feel a little bit, look at his contact. Hendricks gets behind him. You think Hendricks has him? No, 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 no. You have to completely unwrap the package to open it. You can't hold on to it. And of course, Rhodes slips away. Look at the determination, good balance, good protection of the ball. Then he's finally taken down, a little bit shaken up. I think he's more a little bit winded on that play.
I think he may have a cramp. He may, because he grabbed his right thigh, and I think that's what we may have here.
And that's what you expect to have on a day like today. Keep in mind, muddy surface, wet surface, those legs are pumping twice as much as normal, and of course it has a tendency to tire out, and you have a tendency when you slip sometimes to overextend those muscles, and the temperature has dropped, we mentioned, so the muscles are a little bit tighter out there, so Jason Rhodes being tended to, but hey, Nats Pizza screen. There's only one thing comes to mind.
There you go. Now, we talked about West. I think if there's a sleeper in the tournament, it's Bethlehem Catholic. I think Becca could give West a real effort here. Now, I'm not saying they're going to beat them. I think Becca has some real players that could give West a struggle for a while. The question is, you know, can they get through their first round and then set that thing up for the East semifinal?
Well, I think the key against West is you've got to have an offense that's going to be able to maintain possession on the ground, control the game, control the clock, and then you've got to have some players. There's Rhodes as he makes his way. Looks pretty good to me. It was amended, whatever kind of magic potion they had out there. He's up and it works. But
yeah, that's why I thought it was a cramp. You know, John Price asked me, what's the conversation been around Pennridge this week? I'll share that with you in a minute because it's one of the more interesting thoughts that I've heard in a long time. 2nd and 15 from the 30. Rhodes loses 5. Harris in the backfield. Here comes Koshan in motion. Harris up the gut. He'll pick up about 3. The key thing that I heard this week, Quakertown's going to burn a timeout here. The key thing I heard is Mr. Picciotti, who has looked so very impressive again this year, at one time lived in the Pennridge School District.
Wow.
A lot of people at Pennridge this week going, what if? What if Picciotti and Rhodes were the backfield and you had Harris and Koshan as the backups?
Can you imagine?
What if? Oh, it won't happen. Well, what if?
You know, we've got an area there. We've got that expression, what if? Doesn't that go in there with could've, would've, should've?
Yeah, I think so.
But let's make it happen. And it's nice to be able to speculate and to think about what could have been. But the fact is, what's here, what's now? I think Pennridge has really done a nice job. Coach Hollenbach has done a nice job. You know, you go back, we talked to one of the players from the 50s era, and you know, it was back then where Pennridge strung together, I think, 3 consecutive winning seasons.
Yep.
And you know, Chris, you've been around here a while. It's been a long time since that's happened, and with Coach Hollenbach at the helm, it appears as though as Pennridge now has made the right turn for the better.
Yeah, there were some down years. I mean, when Wayne Hellman was here, this program was as solid year in and year out as anyone who wasn't located in Doylestown. And quite frankly, Frank Christiniak came in, did a fairly good job. But after that, there was a long lull there. And Jeff Hollenbach's come back, 3 straight winning seasons, 2 playoff runs. 3rd and 14 now for Pennridge at the 27. Just over 3 minutes to play on Thanksgiving Day. Roberts for the first time on offense. The handoff to Harris. Harris in what would normally be a Rhodes play doesn't get a whole lot there.
Yeah, but a nice defensive stand here by the Quakertown. And it looks like Hendricks and company, Detweiler, and everybody stepping up there to come up with the nice defensive play to tackle.
A couple of names I want to throw out from the past. We talk about this every year on Thanksgiving, but Jeff Hollenbach brings it up. There was a time, my friends, when this game used to decide league titles for both schools. That won't happen today. But anytime you want to see Jeff Hollenbach wince, mention the year 1970 to him. Quakertown, a big underdog, coming in with Kenny Schroy, who later went on to play for the Jets after playing at the University of Maryland. Came in here and blew Pennridge off the field, ruined their chance at a league title, 66-28. Hollenbach had said, or one of the players on Pennridge had said during the week, if we lose, we'll have them over for dinner. All the Quakertown kids showed up.
There it is.
Montgomeryville Cycle Center, Yamahas, Hondas, Kawasaki's, Suzuki's. New location, 2901 Bethlehem Pike, Hatfield. Give them a ring, 215-712-RIDE, which stands for RIDE. We had a great job today, and we want to take the time before we get to this play to thank our crew. Wonderful job of keeping us up to date on all our sponsorships and also on the pictures and the audio of the game.
We saw the Panthers defensive show. Now we're seeing the Rams.
Landgreen looking for Grill. You know it. There's Grill. He makes the catch. They should give that one to him because Roberts pushed him out.
Yeah, he was in air and Roberts defended him, but of course, an excellent thrown ball, well positioned, away from the oncoming defensive back, thrown on the outside, and a Grill. He comes up with a nice clutch reception.
And for Grill, the single season receiving record at Quakertown. He had a couple early. He's been awfully quiet since. He's the go-to guy down the stretch here. Great set of hands on this youngster. 2:27 to play, 1st and 10 Quakertown at their own 41. Now the referees are stepping in. Not sure what this is. Timeout Pennridge. Apparently some confusion. Coach Benfield, who calls the defense, decided to take a timeout here to see what's going on.
Well, you know, Coach Benfield is alert to what just happened on the field. You saw Grill come up with a nice clutch reception, and you say to yourself, wait a minute. You see the clock ticking down. We're only winning by 4 points. If Quakertown's allowed to move the ball that quickly upfield, hey, we better do something to throw that momentum off.
Now, here's how this sets up, my friends. With 59 yards to go and 2:27, this is very achievable for Quakertown. Pennridge obviously wants to stop them, but if they can't, they got to give themselves some clock time left to go. The likelihood of a tie is extremely unlikely at this point, unless Quakertown could get 7 and Pennridge would kick a field goal. That would take a lot of math to get that to happen. So Quakertown has to look at this as they need 7 points. 1st and 10 from the 41. Landgreen fakes the inside handoff. Grill on the scissors play. That one was smelled out extremely well by Jimmy Harris. That'll lose about 3.
Good discipline by Jimmy Harris as he held on to that far right side. And not a bad idea there as Quakertown tried to make something happen. They go into a quick set formation right now. But Harris, again, too much of an experienced player to be had on that play.
All right, Landgreen again looking for Grill or Oldham. It'll come out to Oldham. He'll make the catch, but he stays in bounds, and that could be key. Tackled immediately by who else? Jason, I had a cramp when I'm back in the game. Rhodes. Quakertown moves the ball to dead square midfield, but now a key 3rd and 1. Do they waste the time and pick up the 1, or do they throw the ball? Inside to Smith. Smith rumbles up the gut. Rumbling. 1st down, Lorden and Derry on the tackle. The clock will stop as they have to move the sticks. 1:37 to play. Quakertown now at the Pennridge 38. And the Pennridge defense is going to decide this game with the Quakertown offense.
Chris, the point that you just made, what are they going to do? I think was a moment of hesitation for the Pennridge defense.
Landgreen on the move, being pursued, and he throws the ball away. Heady play there, because quite frankly, Bolsar was in on him.
Smart play again. As you said, Bolsar was all over him. Not only that, great coverage in the secondary. I like his decision-making. Takes no chances, throw it out. We'll have another crack at it. There you go, a little meow.
There you go. The question, does Quakertown have a 3rd receiver? We have not seen a real pass to the tight end today.
That's right.
We have not seen a real dump pass to either Hendricks or to Smith that we've seen.
It's a good point. Don't be surprised.
Because you know you're seeing Oldham and Grill. Oldham down here, Grill up top. They may try and throw back. No, they go into a crowd, and I mean everybody's over there. Oldham was over there. Hendricks was over there. Derry, Roberts, Lorden, Kraus, Maurer. There's a League of Nations over there.
That's right.
3rd and 10 now at the 37. Definitely 2-down territory. I got to think Grill comes up as a player here.
Grill, or you have Oldham, or you never know. There might be another attempt at a fake right down the middle. Remember, a couple of plays earlier, you expected him either to hold it or waste it down. No, they gave it to Smith right up the middle, came up with a sizable gain.
Yeah, the clock is what kills the running game here, because quite frankly, Smith has been the answer so far today. Looking inside to Oldham into the middle into Grill, and that was well Again, the same play that we saw earlier. I have to be honest, I'm a little surprised Quakertown hasn't been called for linemen downfield.
Not only that, Josh,
that's what Jeff Hollenbach's yelling about, and he's right.
Right. Josh Schmoll also coming in with a nice defensive play there out of that linebacker position there, tipping the ball away.
Is if there's a point of the Pennridge defense you really got to like, it's the back four. Lorden, Derry, Roberts, and Rhodes have been together a long time. They know how to play the pass. The run with Smith, if there were more time, would be highly effective. The season for Quakertown right here. 4th and 10 at the Pennridge 37, $1:20 on the clock. Landgreen back, and here comes the rush. The pass. Does he get it in bounds? Yes, they give it to Hendricks. Inbounds just beyond the first down marker. Pennridge doesn't agree with it, but they are going to give him the first down. He'll be down at about the 24. Here comes the replay.
Close games are decided by big plays. Look at the composure. Nate Landgreen was unsuccessful last couple attempts. This one, he's running out of space, throws it to the sideline. Here comes Mr. 11, Hendricks, for the reception. Well covered, but a perfectly thrown ball. Really can't stop it.
Hendricks gets him down. Minute 16, 1st and 10 at the 30. Fresh set of downs, going deep for Grill. Can Rhodes defend it? Who has it?
Roberts.
No, it's intercepted. It's intercepted. Aaron Roberts ends the season. You got to think for Quakertown.
Well, you gamble, and you try to decide the outcome of a game on a big play. And when you throw the ball up high for grabs, it literally becomes anybody's ball, especially when you throw it into double coverage. There's a heads-up play by Aaron Roberts. There it is. Look at your trajectory. The ball's wide. Grill is underneath it, but double coverage. Aaron Roberts, vertical jump, a good one. Good eye, good hands, comes up with the interception. Good defensive play, Pennridge Rams. Too bad for Quakertown. They gambled, well-thrown ball, but came up just a little short.
And Quakertown does not have many, if any. They may have one timeout left. I don't know if they even have that. They've used a lot. And I want to take my hat off to Aaron Roberts. Aaron Roberts played a lot of offense last year. And they said this year, Koshan and Harris are going to be the feature backs, Aaron. We need you really to do the job on D. He sucked it up. He didn't complain. And today, he comes up with a big interception, and believe me, 20 years from now, Aaron Roberts will remember that interception.
Well, exactly. He could have gained several hundred yards throughout the course of the season, and he will not have had a more memorable play than to decide the outcome of the game. And ironically, it'll be a defensive play that won the game in the closing seconds of the 1999 Thanksgiving Day annual rivalry between Quakertown and Pennridge. But before we sign off and we get into our postgame, congratulations to both teams. I'll tell you, it's been a very enjoyable morning here to work. Thanksgiving Day game. A great game played by two great teams, coached by great coaches. Great effort. We didn't come up short on that. And a special happy Thanksgiving to everyone in our audience, including our production crew led by Tom Brunt. Another fantastic job.
And let's take the old chapeau off for our friend Steve Cherrybon. Quakertown last year on this day looked really, really overmatched. Quakertown has come a long way in 1 year. And if you're a Panther fan, you got to be excited because, hey, let's look at this program. Landgreen, Jr., Hendricks, Jr., Grill, Jr., Gosler, who we didn't see a lot today, Jr. Smith is a senior, but you got a lot of that backfield back. Then you look at Detweiler will graduate. Okay, so we lose him. But boy, I tell you, there's a whole bunch of kids up front who are going to come back as well. LaCava will be back. You know, Quakertown has a lot of kids to look at for next year. So let's take our hat off and salute them. Quite frankly, I think Jeff Hollenbach's going to say, woo,
yeah,
glad to get out of here today.
Well, like I said, they were, they had the home field advantage. They're the team for the last couple of years. They've won it. They've won it pretty handily. However, today, by no slight stroke of luck, was this an easy win for Pennridge. They escaped at home with a victory. That's the score as we see the closing seconds tick away.
Reiner will take the knee, and the clock's going to count it down. There's no way to stop it now. 16, 15, 14. Pennridge now slapping helmets with the Quakertown kids. And this, my friends, is why Thanksgiving Day is so special in Upper Bucks County. You see it counting down. Pennridge wins, but just barely. The final, Pennridge 30, Quakertown 26. What a game from Poppy Yoder today. We'll step aside. When we come back, the post-game activities on this Thanksgiving Day from Upper Bucks County. You're watching football on TSM. sides of the field. There you see the score as the alma maters are played. Pennridge 30, Quakertown 26. Somewhere down in the midst of all that humanity is John Price with Coach Jeff Hollenbach. John?
Tremendously emotional victory. What a great way to end a season for your kids. You've got to be so proud of the way that they battled all season, were down in this game and came back. I mean, can you talk about some of the personal or individual performances on the field today?
Well, we had some wonderful efforts by a bunch of guys. Jason Rhodes probably has to stand out because he was playing hurt. He was cramping up out there, did a super job. Aaron Roberts had a great job on defense. His pick down here in the end zone was just a super kind of rematch, if you will, or replay of us losing to North Penn last year. We didn't make that play. Now Aaron makes the play. Last game of his senior year. I'm really proud of these kids.
This team was a very special team. You've been in the program now for a couple years. It's building to that point. What do you foresee as far as next year is concerned?
Well, this is, I told the kids before the game, this is our first cycle through because we've been 3 years with these kids, and so these were the seniors we worked with when they were sophomores. You know, they have had a wonderful 3 years. We're looking for great things in the future, but we just want to, really be proud of these kids right now.
Now, real quick, at 26-14, did any doubt creep into the mind, or were you comfortable?
I wasn't comfortable, but I also knew that we were moving the football well, and we have a good offense. Our kids battled when the pressure was on us. We came through big time, and I also want to credit these Quakertown kids. They really came to play today. This is a game of what it should be on Thanksgiving. It was an excellent football game.
Well, this has been a Thanksgiving tradition for me too. I want to wish you and your family a great Thanksgiving, and I'm sure it'll be a little bit more pleasant now that the outcome. You guys came back. Great game, Coach.
It was a great game.
All right, back up to you guys.
Thanks a lot, John, and thanks to Coach Jeff Hollenbach, and we appreciate him taking the time to talk to us. I think he hit it. We talked during the interlude here about who the stars of the game were. We wouldn't quibble with him. Roberts and Rhodes, you just can't say enough about either of these kids and what they did for their respective schools today. Let us take a moment here to salute our good friend John Malloy and the friends at Lincoln Financial for their sponsorship throughout the season, and especially our post-game show today. Our thanks to Lincoln for everything they've done for us this year and what they can do for you, which is help you hang on and grow your money. They'll help you examine your objectives, analyze your needs, and find ways to make your money work harder in order to make your future even more comfortable. Give John a call at 800-292-0408 for an appointment, and he can get you started. Securities investment advisory services offered through Lincoln Financial Advisors Corporation, member NASD SIPC, a broker-dealer, and a registered investment advisor. Insurance offered through Lincoln affiliates. Lincoln Financial Group is the marketing name for Lincoln National Corporation and its affiliates. And John Price getting ready to talk to Coach Cherry Bond. If we're ready, guys, in the truck, let us know. We'll send it down to John and get the Quakertown coach's feelings. All right, John, down to you.
Coach Cherrybon, this game has to go down as one of the most outstanding matchups on Thanksgiving Day in the whole history of this rivalry. What an emotional game. You guys were up, and your kids battled so hard against a team that's been recognized as one of the top teams in the state and the area. How do you describe what happened?
It's just an unbelievable feeling. I mean, I've been coaching 22 years, and obviously this is the most emotional loss I've ever experienced. But our kids are just battlers. They're aggressive, and they play their hearts out. They played their hearts out all season, and this is just an example of the kind of football we've played since the beginning of the season.
Congratulations on an outstanding season. Recognize some of the individual performances, not just from today, but maybe over the course of the season.
You have to start with Mike Smith. He rushed for over 1,000 yards. I mean, he's just one tough running back. Nate Landgreen, Chris Grill, Greg Oldham, great receivers. We threw the ball well today. Defensive lineman Chris Messina. I mean, just outstanding at 160 pounds. Linebackers Pete Bartholomew, Robbie Detweiler. The secondary has been outstanding, and we gave them all kinds of fits with their passing game, but we just couldn't stop a couple big plays there at the end.
Coach, you brought this team back. Congratulations. Quakertown once again is a team to be reckoned with. So congratulations on doing that, and I hope you have a nice Thanksgiving, Coach.
Thank you very
Thanks
much.
For your time. Back up to you guys.
John, and it's rare that we can say this because we do a lot of high school football. Today was one of those games where it was really a privilege to be here to do it.
Well, I agree with you, Chris. It certainly was. As always, it's a pleasure to work with you and our crew. But, I've been around, like yourself, a lot of games, at highest levels of competition. And the thing that excites me and the thing that I find most enjoyable is the level of competition that I see in front of me. And it doesn't matter at what age or what level it is, but today has to rank up there with some of the finest that I've ever seen. And the fact that we were able to get behind a microphone and behind a camera and do it certainly adds to the enjoyment that it's bringing. And certainly, I know for myself, and I can speak for you as well, I take liberty of doing it, that it certainly was a special Thanksgiving treat for us and our entire crew here at TSM to be on hand here at Papa Yoder Field to do this thriller of a game.
The thing, if you're a Quakertown fan, that will stick in your craw for the next 364 days is 3 times you had the lead and 3 times Pennridge caught you. Having said that, Quakertown played a whale of a game today. They came with everything they had. Grill set a school record. Smith was awesome up the middle. In fact, I think they might have scored if they had more time late in the going. Because Smith was very effective all day up the middle. The passing game came and went for them.
You know, Chris, the point that I'd like to touch on, let's look at Pennridge. We talked about the rebuilding process that you heard Coach Hollenbach say, you know, this is the 3rd year in the cycle. Now, let's go back to Quakertown. You know, they've struggled for years. They're now in that process. They're maybe a year or 2 behind Pennridge. And the thing that's going to be hard, yes, this is a slightly bitter pill to swallow on Thanksgiving Day, but you cited all the players are going to be coming back here. Not to mention a quarterback, to me, looks very sharp, a guy who knows how to make decisions, a guy who shows leadership and knows how to win and make it happen. He'll be coming back next year. If you look at this as a building process, you take that excitement, that enthusiasm you came away with today, you can hit the weight room over the weekend and you start for next year. There's no doubt about it. We come back here next year, or we'll be at Quakertown next year to do this game. We're certainly going to see that much of a thriller and possibly more as both teams continue building winning programs.
And for Pennridge, of course, the whole backfield minus Briner comes back. Harris was great today. Koshan had a couple of fumbles. That hurt. Rhodes, my friends, he is the real deal. He is as exciting a player as I've seen in Bucks County in a long, long time. A whale of a game. We appreciate you being with us. Florian,
Chris,
you and yours, a happy Thanksgiving.
Likewise. And to everyone out there in our audience, and a special thanks for their support.